the line of monstrous bandits advance towards you. You hear creaking coming from the woods, when suddenly, belching out from the forest, the dire troll. You're up first.
I cast Fireball.
That's all of them. Roll damage.
All sixes.
Yeah!
Booyah!
All right, you're next.
I cast Cone of Cold. It says AD8 right here. 64 points of damage.
I cast Lightning Bolt.
That's all right with me.
You just did that.
Radiates this like golden energy, and I cast shield.
He looks down in sorrow and then turns a fiery gaze to the rest of you. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
You mother.
I'm Cork.
Nice. Cool.
Give him the official Herald salute, Arcana crew.
Was that gonna be the answer no matter what?
Yes.
Okay.
And very quickly, my head just turns. It's almost like someone called me, and I look back at you and I give you one last wave and one little sad look before blowing you a kiss and waving goodbye.
She goes, hot damn, mama. And I'm gonna slap her on the ass, and then I'm gonna whip around behind.
We have an unboxing to do. This was sent to us by a wonderful viewer of the show who's been with us from the very beginning, I believe.
Yeah.
In this package, there are gifts for all of you, as well as candy to share.
I already prepped.
Okay.
Whoa!
Hooray.
The end of it now, you're coming to the other side. I need everybody to make one more constitution. And makes it over to this pillar.
Also, Cameron, this map looks amazing.
Right?
Let's see if I can throw that out.
I built it with my own two hands.
What about that other hand? What was it?
It watched. Stay safe out there, adventurers.
Listen, I can only catch the...
Welcome, travelers, to another thrilling episode of Arcanarama. Hierarchies fell as the wounds of Kavorah oozed molten blood. Kings became peasants as castle and cottage were swallowed alike. I'm Cameron Holt, your Dungeon Master for the evening.
Oh.
I'm joined, as always, by the teleporting Arcana crew. Introduce yourselves, Arcana crew.
Teleport.
Is it me?
You. Oh!
Who goes there? Taylor Higginbotham.
He controls everything.
That's our nighttime walking lantern. I'm
Nice.
kidding.
I'm also their nighttime walking. Samantha.
Sort of leash.
I'm a dog, Tycho. I don't know how to open doors. You may think, like, their dog knows how to legitimately open doors.
Yeah.
Like,
He
if the
can
door
close
is
them.
closed, he can open a door. No, I do not. The door can be halfway open, 3/4 open. I do not know how to walk through that. He just sits on the other side. I sit on the other side of that door, and just like, I can't go through this door. What's up?
Just cry.
Josh Kitchens.
You were saying that a lot before we started. I was wondering what you were talking about. Just practicing and practicing.
Just sit outside.
Is that what happened with the soda earlier? Is that the door
I know
was
how to
half
walk through the
open?
door, and I smell soda. And
Wait, your dog's a vampire.
whoa,
You just gotta invite him in.
Yeah.
that's cool. Vampire Dog. That's a movie. It's a good movie.
I'd watch it. Sequel to Bunnicula. Some
I
announcements before we begin. Those are good. Taylor, who's our first sponsor?
Gilded Rogue. Shirt, cup, pant, pillow. You can have it all.
Dog collar.
Dog collar or two. You could have all of those things, you D&D fan. And you know what you get also? You get a tree report card. You buy a shirt merch and you get tree, friend. So go to thegildedrogue.com and buy. Yes, Sam.
Can you buy our merch there?
Yes, also, our merch has a tab. You get tree for buying shirt.
You get to keep the tree?
No. The tree helps others. Just think for a second. So go to thegildedrogue.com and buy a forest of merch. Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you, Taylor. Sam, who else?
Your other sponsor is More Fun Comics and Games. They're our local comic book shop. They might be your local comic book shop, but if they're not your local comic book shop, then you can buy comic books online. You can also follow them on social media. They post a lot of cool stuff. They do a lot of cool stuff in our community. They have a gaming center where people can get together and play games. They have a toy store. They're a really cool store. They're really cool people, and they need to know who we are. Please tell them.
I'm going to wear a shirt with my face on it that says, "This guy's on Arcanarama." It's probably not going to help.
And then underneath that, it says sponsored by More Fun Comics and Games.
That's you. Thanks for reading. A picture of their face.
Ooh.
And it says, "This guy knows who Arcanarama is."
This
And then
guy's
on the back,
sponsored
it shows us, and it says, "This is Arcanarama."
We're so
Imagine
good.
if somebody came into your place of work, which especially for most of you is your homes, wearing a shirt with your face on it.
If somebody walked into our home and I don't know them,
People have shirts with our faces on them already.
They do?
Yeah. We were in a band.
My face was never on a shirt.
Yeah.
Fox.
There's a whole
a
picture.
fox.
What?
Queens of Noise?
No, those were spray painted.
Those were cool though.
What face picture
Red Death?
thing?
This one that you took, I think.
On a shirt?
Oh, we did that limited run of the red poster.
Yeah.
It was like super limited run of that shirt.
Oh.
The
Red.
waffle one.
It was
is
at
the other one.
our debut show. I didn't get a shirt. They were closed by the time we got off stage.
Yeah, I didn't get one either. Whatever.
But what can they get if they sign up for our Patreon?
But you know, I was just thinking about how related these topics are. Because there's artwork on there too.
Nice.
We have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Arcanarama, and you can be on there if you want to. There's a podcast. There's Chaos Hours that we record, like talking about the show after every single episode with each other, with secrets. And there's like all this other shit. There's all these things that you can have and look at, especially if you're caught up. I know some of you are caught up. So yeah, do it if you want.
Well, hello there, weary travelers. It's me, Cameron, from the future past, the dungeon master person who sits in the chair and says the stuff. So we lost episode 72, which I'm sure those of you in our Discord are aware of. Since we've been doing this pre-recording, things have been working out really smoothly, so of course we had to hit a hitch at some point or another to even things out. The video file for episode 72 was completely corrupted, and as of the time that this is airing, we have not found a way to recover it and don't know if it is recoverable or not. We're going to continue working on that and hopefully be able to get that episode out to you guys on YouTube whenever, if ever, we can salvage it. But in the meantime, there was a very special announcement that was made at the beginning of that episode that was lost to time, so I'm here to tell you about it again. We've got some big changes coming to Patreon that actually have already come to Patreon as of right now. We are going to be consolidating our Patreon tiers. We're going to be removing the Dungeon Delver tier as a whole, that's our $10 tier, and combining all of those benefits into the Adventurer tier at $5. That means you get access to your name being read at the end of the stream. You get access to Patreon exclusive polls that we will be putting up, exclusive artwork that goes up on Patreon, in addition to the entirety of the Guardians of the Phoenix podcast, all for the low price of $5 a month. Pardon the edits. I didn't make a script for this, so I'm just going. We're also going to be lowering the price of our Legendary Hero tier, which is really just there as more of a, like, if you have the extra wealth to spread and you want to support a channel like us, then that's the tier for you. You don't get anything extra. It's just like, yeah, here's some extra bucks. We're going to lower that from 50 to 30 just because that feels right. The $3 tier, Weary Travelers tier, is also going to have some adjustments. So initially the $3 tier was just kind of like a, hey, thanks for your support. But we are changing that so that now the $3 tier gets your name, your Patreon name, in our mid-roll, pre-mid and post-roll here on stream, and we'll add you to the list of names that we will read aloud at the end of the streams. So if you want to be noticed by your senpais, then it only costs you the low price of $3. And everything else that is available that we do on Patreon, that's the Chaos Hours, the Guardians of the Phoenix podcast, all of that is going to be available at the $5 Adventurer tier. Another very big, exciting thing is that Guardians of the Phoenix, I'm really getting ahead of myself in the podcast edits. And because, we're putting that work in anyway, and as of right now, this is kind of like a big deciding factor as to why we are making these changes, is we want more people to be able to hear it. And as it were, only like 2 or 3 people were able to listen to the Guardians of the Phoenix podcast. So adding that to the $5 tier, we're going to get that in more of your ears. We're also going to be releasing, instead of the typical schedule of once a month for Guardians of the Phoenix, we're going to be bumping that up to 2 episodes a month. Because we were listening through and realized if we kept doing that once a month, that podcast is going to be releasing for years to come. And it will always remain exclusive to Patreon. So if you want to hear the Guardians of the Phoenix podcast, which was Kitty's first time ever playing D&D, and it was our solace in the dark times of the quarantine. If you want to hear how we escaped from sorrow and found solace in D&D, then there's no better place to look. It's a very fun campaign. It was our first time exploring Winfell together as a group, and it's truly a treasure. That is active right now, so if you're not a patron already, head over to patreon.com/Arcanarama to sign up if you want some extra goodies. We do the Chaos Hours that's paired with every single episode. You get early access to the episodes at the Adventurer tier. We read your name aloud at the end of the stream. You get access to the Guardians of the Phoenix podcast. There's a treasure trove of content over there waiting for you, so don't skip out. Thanks, everybody. Back to our regularly scheduled episode that is the one after the one that we lost.
That's less than a current Subway sandwich.
Wow.
In this economy.
And much better quality.
And way longer than a single foot.
We can't show that on Twitch.
Nope. That's Patreon content, baby.
Yeah. Ooh. Check out our feet.
Chaos Speedo.
If we run out of ideas for our calendar, the last 4 months should just be our feet.
No.
Sell a calendar.
Be like, wow, there's some character art. There's like them behind the scenes, and then just like hard photo of a foot. It's like Monty Python, just like a foot from the side.
Wow, the community's grown so much in the last week. It's gotten weird
All of our
too.
comments show feet.
I feel like I know that our vibe is weird, but can we check it?
Let's check it.
What would imply that our vibe is weird?
Let's check our vibes before we wreck our vibes.
I got a 13, personally.
I got a 14.
And you
Got a
may or may
15.
not be able to check your vibes by typing
If
in.
you get a 16, goddammit.
I got a 6.
Oh, do I need to get a 16? Hold on, let me grab the one that's
I'm
going to
going
do
to
16.
go ahead and assume that the vibe checks are not working in the chat, and I'm going to give a preemptive shout out to Safari Fred for holding it down.
Yes, for
Yay.
I almost got a 15.
You want Safari Fred to make up a vibe check.
I got a 12. Was that in the
12,
number?
13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Nice.
6. Yay.
Well, 6 and 2 is 12.
Yeah, exclaim some stuff in the chat with the VC or vibe check and say hi, Safari Fred.
And everybody say thank you, Safari Fred.
Thank you,
Thank you, Safari
Safari
Fred.
Fred. Oh, is this going to be a new thing we do it?
I think until we
Until
figure
it
out the
fits.
vibe checks,
Yeah. The bank is still there. We just have to like
we have to get them
get at it
to.
with code.
Yeah, with our luck, it'll be fixed by the time this episode airs.
Yeah.
You'll find out.
You'll find out. Well, with all of that out of the way, I think it's time to go ahead and hop into tonight's episode of Arcanarama. Previously on Arcanarama. After getting their affairs in order, the Mistwalkers set out for the Chill Run Council building to give their return speech to the people of the city. The speech went off without a hitch, and the party mingled with a few of the people of Chill Run to get a gauge of the city's standing in the eyes of its people. After the Mistwalkers enacted their plan to catch the Children of the Mist in the act of treason, a number of higher-ups within the organization were arrested. With the rest of the cleanup in the hands of the city of Chill Run, the party remembered that Cholula had a dead body in her bag of holding, and Alma revealed a new bit of magic she'd been working on to teleport herself and the other Mistwalkers across Kavorah. Alma took the risk and transported the party to Waterdeep, where they planned to meet with Renaer Neverember to learn more about the prophecy of the Black Rain. The Mistwalkers arrived in Waterdeep and did some sightseeing to check on the state of the city after their decade-long absence, while they waited to meet up with Renaer Neverember. They decided on a quick pub crawl, checking in on the empty lot of the Feast and Fountain in Trollskull Alley, getting rooms and shots at the Yawning Portal, then trying out a new pub in the Docks Ward called the Salty Anchor, after learning that the Skewered Dragon was no longer in business. There, they met their former bartender from Feast and Fountain, Dag Slashley, his new boss and their old friend, Beardsley Tugbottom. After catching up with Beardsley and sniping Dag for the Firefrost Tavern in Chill Run, the Mistwalkers learned that Beardsley had served under General Dorian Brimlock at Fort Hornwood during the Grimdalian invasion some 72 years prior. Having been recently asked to assassinate the general, the Mistwalkers decided to bring Beardsley along with them for their meeting with Renaer at Castle Waterdeep, to get an idea of the general's character. There, the Mistwalkers learned that Renaer was not aware of Horace and Kendry's involvement with the Harpers, leading the party to believe that they were in fact being lied to by the duo. Upon learning this information, the Mistwalkers decided that an expedition to Vassacre was in order to track down the Temple to the Lost God and discover the wording to the ancient prophecy themselves. What dangers lurk in the wilds of Vassacre? Will the Mistwalkers be able to locate and infiltrate the Temple of the Lost God in time? Find out right now on Arcanarama. We begin right where we left off, as you find yourself staying the night in Castle Waterdeep. Some of you have already headed to bed to start your long rests, and others have opted to do some evening studies in the castle's library. Where do each of you find yourselves?
I want to take a big nap.
Almost taking a big nap, also known as going to sleep.
No.
I like books, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go to the library with Silas, but just kind of see if anything caught my eye, and then if it doesn't, I'm like, well, that was fun. I'm going to bed.
I'm trying to get anyone who's in the library to help anyone that we have working at the manor to like help me gather archaeological finds in Vassacre. Any books concerning that, and volcanoes, if there's any kind of geographical things.
For sure. Yeah, there are castle servants that are there to help, so go ahead and make an investigation check with advantage. Cholula, you can just roll a d20.
Okay. Which one?
Thank goodness for advantage.
10.
10? There's nothing of interest to you here.
Okay.
It's mostly maps and legal histories and just a lot of really boring shit.
Yeah, Julia
Man, that
just
sounds
looks
awesome.
at the shelves for like 2.5 to 3 minutes or so. I was like, well, I'm real tired. Y'all have fun. I go to bed also.
How are you looking for anything in particular?
So you were looking for
I'm just kinda-
histories of what again?
Looking for archaeological finds
Yeah.
in Vassacre.
And volcanoes. Just trying to get the books together to
Yeah,
see.
I'll help with that.
Absolutely.
21.
21, nice. Yeah, you're brought a series of tomes about various archaeological finds in Vassacre. You learn about a mysterious type of metal that you haven't heard of before called Troll's Bane that is theorized to be the like the fossilized remains of a certain type of troll. When buried for long amounts of times and pressure is added, it kind of coalesces into this very metallic-like substance that's mined by a noble family known as the Belgraft family these days, and sells really well. It's apparently very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very susceptible to, not susceptible. It takes on magic surprisingly well.
Oh, okay.
Like it wants to be
Imbued
attached.
easily or
Yes,
whatever,
yeah,
yeah.
easily imbued. It wants to be attached to Arcana.
Quicker picker-upper of spells.
In addition to being incredibly rigid and like firm.
And that's Vassacre specifically?
Yes. Sales of like objects made of the metal have probably made their way to other continents at this point.
Right.
But the heaviest concentration of that seems to come from Vassacre.
Okay. Nothing along the lines of tablets or...
Nothing along the lines of tablets, and there's theories of a dormant volcano in the ice plains of Isomer, but it's been frozen over, and the land is so treacherous up there and covered in snow and ice that it's still not fully mapped even, because it's very hard to travel.
And
Lots
it's
of
not a
parties go
split
missing.
peak, it's single volcano.
It's like
caldera?
a single mountain
Okay.
that is dormant and crusted over with ice.
I'll just like close a comically large book. Shit. I'm gonna go to bed. Are you staying up?
I can sleep. I'm good.
All right. I don't
You
remember
found
where my
what you
room
need?
is.
You good?
No, but I wasn't really expecting much. You're good though?
Yeah.
I know we mentioned family a couple days ago. I know it's, for whatever reason, not fun for you.
Yeah. No, never really had one. Yeah.
Nice. No need to expect.
No, it's fine. No, I grew up in Vassacre, but dropped off, been in an orphanage, and never really found my way.
I think for a while I was in the same place, in Waterdeep. But maybe we can be something of a family now. At least I hope, because we might die. Good night.
Night.
I'm Hank.
It's just like taking books down from large parts of the shelf, just like putting them on a table. Yeah.
There's like an attendant nearby who's like waiting to see if you're gonna read those and then putting them back.
He's like,
Should I have been wearing gloves for those?
All right. You all eventually find your way to your royal guest chambers in Castle Waterdeep.
Yeah.
Excellent. Finding your sleep might take you a little bit longer for some of you, potentially just with the kind of weight of the information that's been piled up recently, and the unsurety of who to trust around you and what is going on. But eventually you all find your rest and awaken in the morning feeling very rejuvenated. It's been a lot of travel over the last couple of days, and for those of you who don't get to watch the Chaos Hours at home, we've leveled up to level 17.
Yeah, there's definitely a pull-up bar in Silas's room.
Yeah, for sure.
Those morning workouts are like the room's built around us.
Does he bring it with him?
Yeah, they have
It's
very.
like the little canopy that like surrounds a bed. It's like there's a pull-up bar on the foot end.
Yeah, they have very like specific niche bedrooms for different interests
Nice.
for their guests they could have at the castle. In the morning, Renair greets you guys and treats you to a large breakfast.
Yay!
So you're planning to head back to Winfell? We're in Winfell. To Chillrun?
Yes. You haven't gotten any word back from Genevieve, have you?
No, not from Genevieve.
Okay.
Ithilrindia got back to me that he did communicate with her. She had some things that she was going to look into.
Okay. But there's been no, like, here's a new development kind of stuff. It's really all I was checking for.
No, last I heard, she is planning to look into council members Grolin Strick and Lady Polena Stormwhistle, as they were the others that were implicated as being harpers that I was not aware of. So she's looking into their backgrounds and into their businesses to see if there's anything uncouth that needs to be brought to light.
Right, okay. Someday we'll get to come and visit and we'll just hang out for like a week and play some like boring rich people games or something and we'll just have a good time.
That sounds great. Perhaps I could even don a disguise and we could just go about town.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the
Do you
old
have the
days.
time?
I could make the time, yes. I'm kind of in charge.
Oh, that's true. You can just come along now if you want to. Just drop everything.
I don't know if you have adventure time.
Right, I don't know if that's the best idea for me to fully leave my post and go hundreds of miles
I
away.
was just checking. You seemed excited.
Right, I don't get to leave the palace much, but, you know, I have my ways of getting out and about.
We could show you the world.
Shining, shimmering.
Splendid.
Oh,
I'd love that one day.
Feel like y'all had a moment? That's good.
Well,
don't you dare close your eyes.
all right, well, good luck in your travels.
Yes, thank you for the accommodations and breakfast and everything.
I'm like up on the counter in the kitchen. And shit's like thrown everywhere. I'm like, Alma!
Spray with
Yeah.
a spray bottle.
I was thinking about what you were saying the other night. I didn't. I got some sleep. It's fine.
Okay.
Not.
You don't look
It's-
like it. You look like you're experiencing madness.
It's fine.
Okay. Sure. What do you need?
Just like a spray of flour that like ignites and becomes a little fireball for a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cholula and I are just like standing
Drink this.
outside.
Okay.
It's a weird smoothie thing.
I drank the weird smoothie.
It's chunky.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, that's a greater restoration.
Alma, you drink it and muscle through the chunks,
It's so chunky.
but it starts to kind of like settle and almost like finish mixing itself in your stomach, and then this warmth emanates from your core out to the tips of each of your limbs,
The chunks are good for you.
sort of tingling, and your maximum hit points are restored.
Yay!
Smoothies.
Greater smoothies.
That was very good, thank you.
Greater smooth.
I might live. The chunks are good for you, not good to eat,
Where is
but
that
good for
spell?
you.
I'll take your word for it.
Good
Kind
for
of
you.
tasted like wet hay, you know?
You all notice that there's like a little bit more color in Alma's face now. Her like the bags under her eyes have receded, and she's looking more like her normal angelic self.
Good chunks.
Good
Good
chunks.
to us.
Are
right.
we
Well,
ready?
we made the goodbye weird, so that's nice. Goodbye.
Sorry about your kitchen.
Yeah, sorry about the mess.
That's all right. Nice
It's
chunks.
gonna be like that forever. So
Did you say nice chunks?
Yes.
We're gonna leave.
I squish everybody into the approximately a couple of feet of circle. I will cast teleport, attempting to get us back to. I can take us to the circle in Silas's study.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. If I know of a permanent circle, I know of a teleportation circle whose sigil sequence I know.
Nice. Well,
It doesn't say that I have to have it, like, memorized.
but it says sigil sequence, you know.
We've been there for several days now.
Right. Have you been taking... Would Alma realistically have been taking the time to study the circle? If not, it's still your keep, so it's a location that you're very familiar with.
Yeah. Sure. I'll try to get to the keep.
Okay. Would you like to roll the D100, or would you like me to?
Yeah, I like rolling dice.
All right, go for it.
I'll roll the Alma dice, see how it goes. That is a 60 flat,
Nice.
so we're on target.
Right on target.
Yay!
As you do arrive in the study, actually, I'm going to say, hang on. Yeah, you arrive in the conversation pit.
Nice.
All sitting on the couch already.
Oh. Nice job.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time here, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Do you want to just message Horace and see if we can meet with him and Kendra sometime today? Invite them to the keep? Or
Sure.
do you want to do more planning before we have them in the room?
I think we know basically what we need to do. We just need to make them feel like we are still invested in what they're saying and stay keen with anything they tell us.
We know what they've lied about. Let's keep a good face if they lie again. Get as much information as possible. Spring for a codex if you can. Any way of translating the tablets. We'll go from there.
Right.
It wouldn't be unreasonable for us to ask as many questions as we can. If they want us to go halfway across the continent
Right.
and kill a man, I think we're entitled to.
We could say it's a part of our MO, really. Like, we need to know the full brief.
And then we end on a weird goodbye so they know we're not up to something.
Do we
Absolutely.
want to meet in the courtyard? Talk outside? I don't want them to see the secret room.
I don't know how I feel about them being in our keep if we're unclear on their intentions. But I also don't want to meet in public.
Yeah, public would be good for... They might not pop off, but it would be bad if they did.
Maybe the courtyard? Or just like the tea room, just like off the side.
Oh, there we go. We have public rooms also. Not every room here is secret.
Yeah.
Sure. We'll just have to make sure we close up all the secret spaces before we get here.
The garden?
I like the garden.
Garden sounds nice.
Alrighty. I'll go ahead and reach out, see if they're available, and haven't already fled. Message. Or sending. Message wouldn't get there.
If they have ears in Waterdeep and they know that we've been there, we need to have an answer for that. But we'll see whenever they bring it up, if they do.
We'll come up with something on the fly. They probably don't know. Nobody saw us leave. Or return.
It's also, we're entitled to our own private business.
We did kind of gallivant about Waterdeep.
We did, but we are hoppers and we don't have to spill every bean we have.
True.
Food.
So I will message Horace.
Okay.
In the gardens of the keep, our keep, guards will let you in.
That will be difficult. Kendry and myself are aboard a ship. We've just left Port Dampier with crackdown on children and our faces seen in public many times with Sybil Terswind. We've left. That's the last word.
I know that it might be hard through the sending spell to get an inflection, or maybe easier because it's coming straight from somebody's brain, probably. I'll leave it to you.
Yeah.
Can I get an idea? Did he leave because he faked us out, or did he leave because he's being, like, encroached on?
Make
by
an insight
children?
check.
I want the big. 16.
16. It's hard to tell. It's not as easy as you would think to get a read on someone through
Yeah.
sending, because it is coming directly from their mind. However, you're still only getting auditory.
Yeah.
You don't actually get to like read facial expressions or see if there's any twitches or tics or anything. But he's given a valid reason.
Yeah.
He was, like, the first time that you guys saw him upon your return was on stage behind Sybil as she was speaking to the crowd. And with Sybil having just been arrested for treason, basically, it would make sense, even as Harpers, for them to distance themselves from the city to avoid unnecessary headaches.
Oh, they're on a boat leaving Port Dampier.
To where?
A moment passes, and you hear another voice in your head that you would recognize. It's been a while, but you would recognize Kendry's voice.
Get feminine.
Mostly, I just got to get this crap out of my throat. She says, "We're headed towards Waterdeep. We'll grab some supplies. Then, the plan is to head through Manglewood Swamp across the Gulf to the Verescent Moorlands. Our operatives in Fort Hornwood were compromised, so myself and Horace will act as your liaisons for the mission." You still got 6 words if you want to respond.
I'll like hold the receiver away.
What's the Musak like?
It's that like monkeys dancing monkeys. The fucking. Hang on, it's royalty free.
Worth it.
I'll pass along every location that they just told us. If they're going to Waterdeep, we could cut them off there. I can tell them that we can meet them in Waterdeep. Or we continue the path that they want us to go.
Let them know we'll get back to them.
Hold music, please.
I can't search
Okay.
on
No worries.
this computer for some reason, so.
I'll respond. We'll confirm meeting location later.
Heard.
We don't have to use all the words just because they're there.
Hurt.
Hard.
This could go a couple ways, at least what I'm thinking. Their plan is to go to Hornwood, to get us into Hornwood, right? Is that what I... we could have them arrested in Waterdeep. Straight up. Hold off whatever they're planning for
want them
Hornwood.
arrested?
Or we go along, they get us into Hornwood, we expose them. That puts them in the middle of Hornwood as well, I think.
I mean, really, all we'd have to do is tell Renair that the two that are masquerading as Hoppers are going to be in his city, and the Hoppers can deal with them there. If they want us to be the Hoppers to deal with it, fine.
They have every reason to be very elusive as well.
Going to play Asmodeus Advocate here, whatever. Like, are we sure they're wrong?
Right. We still don't know why they chose to lie to us or what the goal.
I'm not saying go with either of those, I'm just saying what we know of their motives, it could be arrest or we go along with them.
Asmodeus, sorry, whatever.
It's both.
Yeah.
Depends on your region.
I got it.
Okay.
Don't doubt yourself. You know what I mean? It's we either play along or we stop them from. In my mind, they're going to kick off the war themselves. They want into Hornwood in order to.
They seem very convinced that they need us to make something happen.
Right.
So
So
are
if
they
we
trying
play
to
along,
stop
then
it?
they'll have us.
We could
Are we sure they're
also-
trying to play into it?
If they're making so many stops on their way to Fort Hornwood, thinking that we'll meet them on the path, if we left for Fort Hornwood now,
Ooh.
we could beat them there and perform our own investigation of what's going on.
We
I
could.
like that.
We don't have to do anything, just see for ourselves what's going on there.
I will
also have
say you guys would know from one of your previous conversations with Horace that the plan was not to meet at Fort Hornwood. It was to meet in the vicinity, and then their operatives were going to help you get in, basically.
Right. That's what I'm suggesting here is that like if we leave now, they're making a bunch of stops. We can get there before they do, and figure out our own way in.
Gotcha.
But that's good. We do have to. It's keeping plates spinning, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say that this prophecy is correct. That we are aligned with fate no matter what we do. We will be going to Fort Hornwood. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that is inevitable. I'm just saying, just keep that on the plate that is spinning.
Like, y'all show up at Fort Hornwood being the public figures you are.
That might
Are
just
they-
be here.
Yeah, I think
No,
we're not really
but
that
you're-
famous.
People know you.
Children.
I guess it's fair. We don't know. Who knows?
Would
us
they
and who
want
doesn't.
to arrest you on the spot, or could
I
you
mean, I
act as
feel
like
that
emissaries?
If we showed up to Fort Hornwood saying we're the Mistwalkers, we've
Yeah.
been in Mistinora, we've personally met and have information about the High King.
Yeah.
We want to talk to the person in charge here. They probably would talk if their plan really is to attack Mistinora. If that's what they're gearing up towards, they'd probably want to hear us out. But I don't know that we could get in and pretend we're not the Mistwalkers and secretly infiltrate
No.
the armies.
I don't think we're as famous as we're giving ourselves credit for either. Like Chill Run, yes, we walked right through Waterdeep without a single stop.
Yeah, it's Waterdeep.
Even if they don't know us, if we have
about as big
information
as
on their
Chilrun.
enemy, they may still want to talk with us.
The door to the space opens, and a slightly bleary-eyed and bed-headed Pippin steps in, wiping his eyes. Oh, hey.
Not Pippin.
Morning, everybody. Y'all sleep all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
What'd y'all get up to? I didn't see you
Went
most
to
of yesterday.
Waterdeep real quick.
Yeah, just got
Came
some.
back.
Got
Oh,
some
real
to-go.
quick?
Yeah,
Yeah.
got some to-go food from Dunnan. I missed
Alma
it.
learned some new stuff, so we were able to go real fast.
I see. Cool.
Yeah.
I thought you went with Cherry and Wellington.
What? No, they left days ago.
Oh, you don't know what a pretzel is, right?
I know what a pretzel is.
Never mind.
Are pretzels new?
No.
No.
Okay.
I may have been raised in a secluded camp of assassins, but then I went out into the world and did murders. Like, I've experienced things.
I don't know what kind of appetite one gets when they're murdering out in the world.
You eat what's around, mostly.
I guess.
He like pushes in the well thing and grabs like a little bottle of vodka, pours himself.
I thought you were about to say he gets like a bowl of pretzels.
Walks over to the dance floor and stomps, and the bar comes up, and he starts just like mixing up a drink for
I'm
himself.
gonna start dancing.
What time is it? Why do I keep looking at my wrist?
It's like 1 bell in the afternoon.
Oh.
That's not so bad.
You guys traveled across the world again.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Did you just wake up?
Yeah. I had a late night. I was helping Genevieve.
Oh, how'd that go?
Fine. We didn't find much. Whatever these like Black Rain people are up to, they're very secretive about all that business. They don't keep anything really around in their offices.
So y'all think the Black Rain too?
Well, that's what we were told by the nice elven gentleman.
I hate to seem overly suspicious of people, but I think we're all already there. Is there any chance that Horus and Kindry are Black
Pawns.
Rain?
Yeah, they could be pawns. Ultimately, I think I'm using the word Black Rain for them is that they might be Black Rain themselves or influenced heavily by them. Black Rain nonetheless.
It does seem to align with the words in the prophecy.
Just seems odd that they'd be so invested just as some people.
Would you be invested if you were reading tablets that were the prophecy and they were coming true right in front of you? If you staked out a city for long enough and the prophecy started to come true?
But if you sit anywhere
Again,
for
if
long enough, a
you're-
series of events
If they're all
will
coming true, why would you try to
influence them.
influence it?
It's not for me to say. I'm apparently one of the weapons.
Well, if they're all coming true, why would you be convinced that you had to do something to make sure that one of them came true?
Yeah.
If it's all just gonna happen anyway.
What is fate if it's not written down? If anyone takes the time to write it, that means that they're influencing it. What does a seer say? What you know?
What do you know of the Black Rain? What? We're all sitting here assuming they're up to no good.
Right.
Is that what you assume as well?
That's my assumption. I don't know that I have interacted with anybody from the organization personally, but from stories that you hear, mostly, urban legends and myths and things, is that they're some sort of shadow organization who've got members that are like almost the king of every country is a secret member of the Order of the Black Rain, and they're moving things behind the scenes to push pieces into place that only they know the workings of.
That sounds pretty
But-
accurate to what we have going on.
I mean,
Do we know their end goal? Do we know?
it could very well be that in Mistinor, the king wasn't poisoned by one of the people everyone assumes. It could be that the Black Rain poisoned that person and let the country assume, the continent assume,
Right. Or
that
maybe the
it was foul
king,
play.
maybe Geladorn wasn't involved in the Black Rain, but maybe his son was.
Maybe.
And
They don't seem to like spotlight, at least from my missions before.
At this time, we don't
Well, I
know.
guess maybe they are trying to influence prophecy, because the prophecy is that if we succeed, the Black Rain falls.
But does that mean you want rain to fall?
Black Rain.
If you were a
But not
Black
if-
Rain member,
Yeah.
you would want your namesake to fall from the skies.
Genevieve was struggling over that a lot last night as well, how the prophecy could be interpreted in a number of ways, meaning like it could be that the Black Rain will fall on Kavorah and, the world is destroyed or whatever. Or it could mean the organization Order of the Black Rain falls, and maybe that also leads to the destruction of Kavorah? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty unclear. Prophecies. Why can't they just be written Cholula Duvet from Mistinor will appear and kill a man, and that will start this series of events. Why does it have to be?
Is this not,
Maybe that's the issue. So
is this not just
But also,
nudges?
the
Is this
black rain refers to, from my experience, like in Massacre, right? Black rain is when people came over, black rain happened and stuff, whatever, right?
yeah, that was when the land of the elders got swallowed.
But are they named after that? Like, what's...
But the vagueness of this is, we talk about the black rain nudging people into their fates. The vagueness of this is nudging.
Why are they called the black rain?
I don't know.
That's another thing, though, is like maybe our assumptions are incorrect. Sorry, it was a long night.
You need a piece of bread.
I don't think
started
so.
smoking recently. He smoked 5 cigars last night.
Wait, my cigars?
They were just sitting there.
That's the.
Maybe what
They're like 12 years old at this point.
maybe there's something to that though. I may not have the brightest mind, but the prophecies are vague, right?
Right.
Maybe if they were too specific,
Then
maybe-
you can't pretend like they're happening.
right? Maybe it's not so much of a prophecy in the term of thinking of something as like this is going to happen regardless of what you do, and it's more of a situation of like if these terms are met, this will happen. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe the black rain, whatever they're up to, is dependent on getting those pieces to fall into place so that whatever's going to happen will happen.
Do we know of any members that we've run into?
Castellante.
We do know.
Wait, who?
Castellan.
He's been to meetings. He said he was using them.
He's also been
He seems like he's been
out for a long time.
for sure, but
Could that be why Horace and Kendry are going to Waterdeep?
But possible, but it's probably more likely because of the boat rides making it faster than trekking.
it's a port.
I mean, it's also almost certain that if there was one Order of the Black Rain member in Waterdeep, there's probably many more. If they are these higher-ups in the government or even advisors to those higher-ups in the government, there's the Open Lord of Waterdeep, who's kind of like the public face, but the Lords of Waterdeep, sort of like their council, they're masked. They don't even know who each other are. Nobody knows the identity of every one of the Lords of Waterdeep. Only the Open Lord is public facing. The three of you, you kind of like have brief little flashbacks. When they do the shonen of this. You have like brief little flashbacks to standing in that courtroom and standing before the masked lords.
Mert definitely wasn't there.
Yeah.
Mert's, yeah, it's so funny. Just like
Nobody's gonna know
no
who I
one's
am.
gonna speak. All right, hold on. It's just like Big Bird with a mask on. So, oh, wait.
I think I
So-
know who you are.
It's like
All I'm saying is it's possible they might be meeting with somebody while they're there. It might be supplies and a check-in.
That's what I'm suggesting, but we have no way of knowing where they're gonna go. We can't find 2 people in Waterdeep.
they could
Do you think
arrive at the docks and go into disguise
I
right
mean,
away.
they will be going to the docks to get on another boat to get to the Manglewood Swamp. And likely, that may also be where they pick up their supplies. But if they're picking up supplies, then there's also the trade board. But
if memory serves, it's about a 5-day trip by ship from Port Dampier to Waterdeep. Maybe in the time that it's going to take them to get from the port to Waterdeep, and then from Waterdeep to Manglewood, and then to wherever they're planning to meet y'all in the, what did they call it?
The Verescent Moorlands.
The Verescent Moorlands. Maybe in all of that time, we could either do like Alma suggested, and you could just pop over straight to Fort Hornwood, try and get in and look around before they get there, or pop over to Vasica and see if we can track down this temple and find the tablets for ourselves, and maybe look around the temple itself where there might be more clues that they haven't found or haven't interpreted.
I'm still game for that.
That sounds fun.
And we
All the
could
same.
we could still tell Renea to let the Harpers know that their false Harpers are going to be in Waterdeep.
A
and,
tale is
you know,
better than nothing.
Maybe hold them rather than execute them.
I can.
Or just a
I think I
tale,
can also make like a
just to see what they're up to.
invisible eye if we wanted to do. I'd have to be near them, but if we wanted to like follow their actions or whatever.
Right. But I do feel like there's not much they'll be able to do without us. And
It's true. I don't think.
I'm not sure we can get much more information off of them as
Right.
we would if we went and saw the prophecies for ourselves. And if we just don't communicate, and
know they're still there?
they would continue to wait for
The
us and try to
tablets?
find us.
We can know. I don't know how big they are.
If I had agents out and they had to take a boat somewhere and they had to port, I wouldn't waste their time. If they have to port in Waterdeep and then make their way to Hornwood, they would be multitasking.
Right.
So I think a tale in Waterdeep from the Harpers is safe. And then we could make our way to Vasica for the tablets.
We can.
Genevieve
Okay.
also mentioned procuring a flying ship that might be faster than regular means of travel, unless Alma wanted to just pop us over, like she's.
To Vasica?
Well,
Yeah.
Baldwin also has that circle outside of Vasica as
So we
well.
could pop over to Valdwin. But Valdwin can.
Do you
pop us
just have
over.
to look at the circle to know it?
I have to really pay attention to it. If I scribbled it down,
If you had like a picture,
probably.
you got that fancy little two-sided quill. What if he just drew it for us?
Do you need to know the settings or just the circle?
I need to know what the circle looks like.
I can ask him.
Yeah.
I'll set up the pen and parchment.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me a D100. I'm going to say there's a 50-50 chance that Valdwin is in his office and like at the ready to answer.
Okay.
So if you roll a 50 or lower,
What time
he's
of day is
there.
it?
In Missinor, it would be, let's see, because it's like mid-afternoon, morning. It's like late at night.
He's there.
Actually, no, it wouldn't be
Might be a
late. It
class.
would be like
If it's nighttime, he's teaching.
Yeah,
I got
for him-
61.
61. Yeah, he is currently teaching because it is like probably 10 or 11 bells in Missinor right now.
It stays
the day
though,
before.
right? The message kind of sits. You know, like you've
I mean,
got
I can
mail. It
just
doesn't just
leave-
kind of sit.
I can
Oh, yeah.
leave this here and wait until
So
he responds.
I will say it blinks and turns solid, as if it like has been picked up, and then lifts itself over, dips into your ink, and writes out.
Does he have a
Valdwin.
fucking out of office?
It writes out. Valdwin is out of office. I'm his. I'm his sitting secretary.
Okay.
Can I take a message?
Please have him right back when he returns.
This is the Miss Walkers.
You get the sense that his.
I don't know.
These things only have one pair,
Okay.
Yeah.
so he would know that
I don't know
this
if he had
one
like
is
a red
attached to you guys.
phone, you know. And he's
Yeah, that's probably what this is. It's like under a nice little like glass. What are those things
It
you
just
put over
has
a cake?
our symbol.
A cloche. Yeah, it's got like a nice glass cloche over it. And that's his
a word I did not know.
Mistwalker's hotline.
I love cloche.
It was one of those ones where I was like, "What is that called?" And I spent all day like tried it, and then I just Googled it. I was like, never going to forget that again.
She
surprising how much that
responds
comes up.
and she gives you instructions that of like basically some like little fine tuning things that you can set on your little span reed to set it up so that when he does try to contact you, instead of just flashing, it'll also lightly vibrate.
Cool.
Oh, nice. I thought she was going to be like, oh, to calibrate your screen, you have to hit the corners.
We probably have a few hours before he's done with his classes, so we can just, if it's going to give us instantaneous transport to Vassacre, we can just hang out in here until we get the response we need.
Sounds good. The other order of business will be finding out what language that is and who can speak it and translate. If
Right.
it's someone who is of a neutral party, I hope, presume, pray. I don't know how to do that narratively as far as this level up. I haven't seen the public, so
Yeah,
like,
that's fair, that's fair.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone outside of this room. What does everyone speak?
I can speak Common, Quarry, and Thieves can't.
Dwarvish, Draconic, and Common.
I speak Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, and Celestial.
I speak Common, Quarry, Rudimentary Goblin, and some Giant.
Okay.
Conversational Goblin?
Interesting.
Conversational. Mostly slang words. You'd be surprised how far you can get.
Conversational Goblin. I love that book.
Did you lose
so useful.
Sylvan? Oh, that's weird to play out narratively. Because
Well-
you were teaching me Sylvan.
I died, so.
Whoopsies.
Forgot I had it. In real life, my D&D Beyond profile murdered my original Alma sheet, and so I didn't remember what all I had. So
Yeah.
I just never remember. I can still know Sylvan if Cam will allow it.
That reminds me, I'll allow it. That
Okay.
reminds me
Sylvan also.
I should update my card information before D&D Beyond
Yeah.
destroys all of my shit.
Don't let your card run out. You'll never be allowed to replace it. D&D Beyond, a website.
D&D Beyond. It's hostage. It's a hostage situation.
And you can't call anybody.
So what's the plan?
In the meantime, do we want to tell Renair that they're going to be in Waterdeep around the docks in about 5 days?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
They most certainly will be wearing disguises, and if the head honcho of the Harpers, they're in his city, they probably won't lean on that disguise if they are faking.
If you wouldn't mind, or if you're able to reach out to Renair and let him know that.
Sure.
And if they can just keep from mentioning us, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll shoot out a sending. We can run through it if you want, but
I
basically.
would love to.
Okay, great.
It seems as though they have a bit of knowledge of how the Harpers work, so the tale will have to be very good Harpers.
Okay. Infiltrators going to Waterdeep, possibly in disguise.
5 days at the docks.
5
Right?
days.
Isn't it a 5 day from Port Dampier?
When did they leave them? For?
They said they were getting on a ship.
Yeah, they said
now.
that their ship had just shoved off basically
okay,
today.
cool.
Okay, so 5 days? 5 days travel. Keep
Should you-
us secret.
Should you give maybe a brief description of the pair?
I think they'll be in disguises though.
Right, but
In the off chance they're not.
Okay.
would you like
Wait.
some help?
To describe
Green
them.
tiefling,
Green tiefling,
black horns,
black horns,
tall with glasses.
tall glasses,
Tall with glasses.
Broad shoulder.
He'll get it.
Broad
Eyeball.
shoulder. Mustard.
Is that both of them?
No, this is just Horace so far.
How many words do I have?
We're at 20, actually.
Nice. Okay. Buff.
Okay. Kendry, pretty half-elf.
Feminine?
Yeah,
Okay, that could go either way.
right.
Feminine, hot, half elf,
Red hair.
redhead.
Oh, redhead's one word, yeah.
Anything particular? I feel like
she
that's
had
a lot
a
of people.
chip missing in her ear.
Chipped ear.
A chip.
Maybe hard to disguise.
That feels good.
Okay. And there's a brief moment. Renee responds. I'll put my best men on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Emily just said this.
Just a tale. Observe
50
only.
off.
Unless somebody gets harmed.
Right, yeah. If a crime is being committed,
But like a bad crime.
yeah.
If it's a
Even
victimless crime, leave them alone.
We have reason to
Understood.
believe that they're trying to. I don't want to say. I'm not going to speculate. Sorry.
Just tail. Just tail.
Just tail.
Understood.
Thanks.
All right. And with words to spare, you sever the connection.
I'm getting
Wow.
better at this.
Wow.
I'm getting better at
Very
this.
good. Especially when you don't start with hi, it's all mine.
And then I message Genevieve and it's like 60 words.
Hello, it's me, your daughter.
Hi, Mom. It's been a while.
Don't be dramatic. It wasn't like that.
Hi. Sorry about the dead body.
Okay. Hi is still one word.
Depends.
Sorry about the body. Like I just left it in her house or
I
something.
don't know.
Okay. Renair's been informed. They'll have somebody tail them if they can find them.
Kitty, roll a D4.
4?
4.
4. Curved.
Curved.
2.
2? Nice. What do you guys get up to for the next couple hours while you're waiting for Valwyn's response? You've got some downtime. If there's any activities you'd like to work on,
I'm gonna.
or if there's anything else you'd like to get into in the city.
I'm gonna make a copy of the summoning or the teleportation circle in the office.
Absolutely, you do so. Yeah, and that'll make it so that you don't even have to roll. You can just hit that target. I like that they still include it, and because there's like a little table where it's like your D100 roll versus how well you can make it, and like the top 2 things on the list are just like, yeah, you make it 0 to 100, but they're still on the table for some reason. It feels weird.
Yeah. It's because otherwise nerds would ask. They'd be
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
well, what if I know about a teleportation circle?
Actually, I looked at the thing. That's us. That's what we sound like.
Thanks for watching.
Do we want people to know that we're still in town? Or are we okay with people knowing that we're still in town?
People know we left.
Yeah. Nobody except Genevieve knows that we ever left, so.
I just wonder if maybe one of the shops might have something with a sort of enchantment maybe that can help you understand languages that you don't really know.
Okay.
But I don't know if we should be running around town.
In theory, all
I don't
we
think
need
it matters. I think everyone thinks we're here.
Yeah, everyone thinks we're still here.
in theory, we just need to be able to read it. So
There is a difference between understanding and reading, from my understanding. It's
Right.
like one could speak it, and one can understand it, but reading is like a separate thing.
I don't mean
there are-
necessarily like, will we be bombarded with fans or whatever, but after what we did yesterday,
Are you worried
some of,
people
some
might
of
be
the cult
upset?
members, yes, may be angry with us.
That's fine.
The guards that forged the signatures seem to think that they didn't do anything wrong, but we betrayed them. You know what I mean?
I think if we run into that, and it's, as far as we know, they don't have anybody particularly powerful is still running around. So, you know, if somebody wants to start throwing tomatoes at us, we'll just not.
Tomatoes.
And if they do have someone
React.
powerful running around, we just squash that. You know? They shouldn't
Right.
be running
If it's
around with
like if
weapons.
if they could kill us, then you know
for
react.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they could kill us, why are they so obsessed?
Yeah, and then we
But
don't
if-
have to worry
if-
about all this anymore.
Right.
If the most they can do is, you know, like be mad, I would just maybe ignore it.
I mean, I'll tell them what I think.
Sure. I
But
think
then
that's
maybe even less worship of us.
fair. We would love that.
But I figure if he's in a class now and we're not like right on a bell, then we have at least an hour that we could go out and see what we can find and get back here before he responds.
I agree.
As far as how they felt when they were being arrested, it's that every villain thinks they're right. Every villain thinks they're the hero. So, like, of course we were the bad guys in that moment. No one's ever like, thank you for arresting me. I didn't even know what I was doing back then.
I don't want to say I'm not concerned that they've decided that we are only their heroes as long as we're doing exactly what they want. It's definitely concerning.
We haven't even like read the room though, you know.
That's true. I think it'll be fine. What can they?
Maybe nobody will even
The
try
worst
to
they
talk
can
to
do
us.
is be mad. Really.
I mean, most of the children of the mist that were gonna act out already did. and have
Right.
Since been arrested by the city guard.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was a wild night.
Yeah.
Normally, sneaking around to chill run at nighttime is pretty easy. There's not a whole lot of nightlife going on, but there were people starting fires and stuff. But it was all quelled pretty quickly.
Were they mad that they got caught, or were they mad that they were lied to by their own?
I think a little bit of both, maybe.
Okay. Well, that's good. I just don't.
fair.
I don't want everyone to be so dumb that they don't realize
Ah, shit.
they were in a
Let's
cult.
let's check the town for these things.
Yeah.
But we also have Pete. So if we can't find it here, just reach out to Pete.
He's in Massacre.
Oh,
Pete's probably got a potion that can let you see languages across a continent. I don't know what he's
If,
a
so
wild
if we
cat.
can, if we can get to
Well, let's
Massacre, we
shop-
can get a hold of Pete.
Could you
Let's
send
shop
Pete a
local.
message now?
Yeah.
I rolled poorly. I don't know Pete, right? I don't know Pete.
I
I
don't
don't
think so.
recall.
I
we
think
just
I
watched
rolled
this
poorly enough
episode.
where I don't know Pete.
I think that's correct.
why don't we shop
You would
local?
remember Pete.
I would remember Pete. Oh, everyone remembers Pete.
Why don't we shop local first and see what we can find? And if we find nothing, then when we get to Massacre, we can find Pete and see if he's got something for us.
Sure.
That way you don't have to keep on
No, but
messaging everybody all
more
day.
so if he is there when we get there,
Mm-hmm.
which as far as we know he is there, he's exactly the type of weird little fucker that would be looking for these tablets
Right. And
things.
this is
That's true.
I
this
just
is
got
priceless.
the relief that just washed over me.
yeah.
He might also know something about where those true sight glasses or whatever came from that Horace has.
That's true.
I don't know.
Whatever he has is priceless. We need to find. If we don't find anything here, we need to find something purple because you know Pete.
Right.
Can
well,
we make a deal though? If we take Horse and them down, I get those glasses, right?
Oh,
I have those
yeah,
glasses. Oh,
yeah.
cool.
I didn't even see him.
okay, so
That
let's
seems
try and
right up your alley.
run out and see if we can find anything and be back here within, you know, an hour or so.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. I imagine since we live here or whatever, we would know which kind of shops would be selling the kind of situation that we're looking for.
Yeah, go ahead and make
We're kind of close to Newtown.
a survival check with advantage to try
Okay.
and track down a magic item shop.
What was the janitor's name?
The
Do you have one?
Warforged?
No, you had somebody here at the manor.
Ah, yes.
Sorry.
No worries.
27.
27. Nice.
You have a... Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah, but yeah. Plus 9.
God, plus 14 to initiative. That's insane.
That is wild.
That hasn't changed.
I know, but it's, I just see
No,
it.
that's exactly the same.
Was it
I've got plus.
I'd know it if I heard it.
was it Penderley? Penderley Bim?
Penderley was at the manor?
That's a name I have written down with no
Oh.
context.
Hey, this whole looking
Penderley
up...
was the butler guy.
Okay, this...
I don't
all
know.
this looking up isn't even worth it. I was just going to be like, Penderley, we're going out!
Of
course, yes.
He's taking care of stuff
No,
that I don't.
that was worth it.
I didn't ask him what his title was, so I don't think I've called him a butler. But
Shall I fetch your coats? There's a bit of a breeze today.
Yes.
Of course.
Penderley returns with coats and cloaks for all of you and puts them on.
oh,
Thank you, Penderley.
You've got to put them behind you.
Armies.
As you go one arm at a time. We can do a pullover, all right.
So I'm gonna like pull your arms straight.
It's the forearms. I gotta take those
Master
out.
Silas, please. Stop kicking.
It's a cloak. There are no armholes.
Cholula.
Yeah.
On that ridiculous roll, it only takes you about half an hour down the street to find a nice little market district, and you see what is clearly based on the. Sorry, hang on, give me just a second. There's a row of like relatively quaint buildings, and this particular building has these very intricate carvings that are very like icicle inspired, and it seems to be enchanted in a way to look like it is frosted over. It really stands out on this particular part of the street. There's a glistening snow white awning that extends over the entrance to a shop called Winter's Whimsy.
Oh, alliteration.
Cute.
Winter whimsy. Let's go in.
All right.
Sure.
Absolutely. Stepping inside,
Another one of my shopping episodes. I can feel it.
behind the counter, or rather, stepping in, you see just a smattering of various trinkets and little items, mostly within cases that you can kind of look in and through, but they all have these fun little displays that I would say really pique Howie's interest as well, as they're all very like mechanical, nothing to the extent of Hank, obviously, but like you pass by a little potion bottle, and atop the display is like a little cauldron that's got bubbles bubbling out over the top, and occasionally like a little frog, mechanical frog, like pops up and peeks over the edge and then tucks back down in, and then peeks back out, and it's become a rabbit, and it's just kind of like interchanging. Mm-hmm. And standing behind the counter, you see a very surprisingly broad-shouldered and well-muscled figure for being someone at least working in a magic shop. And you see as they're kind of like tinkering away with their back turned, they hear the ringing of the bell as you step inside, and turning over their shoulder, the faces got a few more lines, and the eyes look a little tired, but you recognize the now much older face of Welby Durgington.
Welby!
I wasn't there for you.
I wasn't there for you either, but you know what? I'm here for you now. What the fuck is up, my dudes?
Welby, I was going to say the exact same thing.
Welby, this is our new friend Howie. Howie, this is Welby. He made the rings that we have.
Yes.
What's up? How
Incredible
have the
mind.
rings been treating you? It's been like fucking forever since I've seen you guys.
I know. They've, been life-saving on more than one occasion.
More
I feel
than one
like.
occasion. Have you been making them, selling them still? Is that kind of your patent?
Well, yeah, I've branched out a little bit from communications, and I've got my whole little shop here. We've got all kinds of stuff. going down. But, it's my mainstay, my main studies at Wilt Bloom were definitely communications. So that's my focus, my passion, you could say.
Congratulations, and also good work. You got your own shop out here and everything. I know it's been a long time, but like, not everybody gets to this point.
We're right up the road,
yeah.
actually. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the.
Yeah, well, it was fun. I struck out for a while, did the whole traveling salesman thing, and when that started to get a little, when I started to get enough funds, I was looking for a place to set up shop, and I found out that there was the restriction on magic items in Chillrun had been lifted several years back, so I bought a little shop here. Was surprised to hear a lot of people talking about Mistwalkers, a name that I was very familiar with.
Yeah.
Right.
But hell yeah, I'm glad to see you. Sounds like it's going to start storming soon, so good thing you came inside.
It smelled like it.
Good thing we got these cloaks from Pendley.
What are you guys looking for today?
Okay,
Speaking
so
of communications.
yes, we're looking for something that can help us to understand, in a language, whether or not we know it.
A written,
That
fuck
makes
yeah.
sense.
a written language, that is.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I do have an item that could help you out with this, but I will say it is slightly limited. The way that these types of magics work is typically something like a helm of comprehend languages. Can help you out with the majority of written language, especially since a lot of common languages and commonly spoken languages these days interact with one another and draw inspiration from one another or have the same sources dating back in history. But more often than not, they're going to be tied to the creator's knowledge of language and can only therefore comprehend most of the languages that their creator does. I will say, you guys are in great luck because when it comes to speaking languages and communicating, I'm the best in the fucking business.
Well, hell yeah.
Did we have a chance to look at what the original language looked like?
We
have
didn't see
no
anything.
idea.
So you weren't able to.
What we do know of it is that it's a language of the gods or the primordials.
Probably some sort of
Primordial.
root language, like very old kind of situation. But if our languages have evolved from that, then I imagine we should be able to find at least pieces of.
I see. So I do have. So I've got one helm in stock currently. Normally I'd sell this baby for about 10k GP, but for you guys, because we go pretty far back, I could probably pass it off to you for 8. And it may, if this is some sort of like ancient undeciphered language, it may not be able to interpret its true meaning for you. But if it's a series of glyphs or images, sort of like a hieroglyphic situation, it will be able to translate that into something that could be spoken or read phonetically.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
Good to
take
know.
it.
What if we said, and I'm not trying to haggle here, it could prevent a war?
That would be
Sounds
excellent
fine.
news if it could stop a war from happening.
Right.
We'll take it. I'm
What
gonna
if,
try to get that into a smaller bag from my bag of holding and put AGP down.
Absolutely.
Think that was
Yeah.
Eat things.
He takes the muns and
Spread a spell.
I've been reading
Here?
how do people use the tongue of sun and moon?
It's not
Because
what
the description sucks. It's probably one of the worst things that you could ever have described to you. I hate it. It's stupid. It's not even your fault, D&D Beyond, even though you're not great. I think it's just D&D in general.
Helm of Comprehend Languages?
yes,
Oh,
which is
I
an item.
understand.
right.
Which is an item that you can add. He pulls out this helmet that appears to be made of like silver with platinum lining. The helmet itself goes over the head and actually covers the eyes, and there are 2 emerald gemstones set beneath very artistically crafted and like chased and repoussed metalwork of these like emerald eyes that cover your own, and you can see through it, and it's that kind of like passing through of the visual that you can use in action to comprehend languages.
Nice. Okay.
You do, it should be noted, even wearing the helmet, you do have to be touching the source of the item to be able to read it.
Now just imagine that explanation, but like this, dude.
Yeah. And as I said before, it's limited to languages I know. I speak most common languages, so you're gonna most written things are gonna be completely comprehensible and common through the helmet. However, certain things, ancient dialects that I'm not familiar with, will be turned into phonetics. So you could read them phonetically, but probably will still be in their original language, if that makes sense.
Okay.
If we can't use this helm to fully comprehend the language, are you skilled at all in
Translation?
deciphering those texts if we can bring them back?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Okay, so
You keep a notebook.
at
around.
worst, we write down what we do have phonetically and bring it back to Welby.
Or if you could send and just say phonetically what it spells out.
Yeah, I could write it down.
I can do my best.
Well,
Hell yeah.
awesome. So, since you've expanded from communication, do you have anything else that you're excited about here that you would recommend?
Well, yeah, I've got all kinds of shit. Let's see. Roll a D100.
Okay.
Welby, you might have clocked Hank back here. Not
I
the-
did take notice. That is quite a fantastic specimen. I see you've also got a couple other little trinkets on you there that look pretty fascinating.
A dabble.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Dabble. Don't be so modest. You just gave her a chunky shake.
It was chunky and it brought me back to life.
What do you call it?
Bring me to life.
Oh my god. We have to leave.
What'd you get on your
Choke me
D100?
to life.
77.
77. Nice. That's a pretty high roll.
Call it the wake me up shake.
It's called the walkie stick.
Chunk up! Chunk me! This is the worst song that we're referencing. Now it's in my head, so that's fun. You guys like Barry Manilow?
Yeah. So I've got this little belt here. It's taken me some time to work on, but there's a shale mine, or shale quarry, I should say, not far outside of town, where a lot of clay shale is gathered, and also, emeralds. Actually, the emeralds embedded in that Helm of Comprehend Languages were found in that exact mine.
Cool.
Anyway, there's a lot of work out there, a lot of heavy lifting that has to get done, and a lot of frost giants really make the heft of the work, take the heft of the workload, I should say.
I'm gonna lean over to Silas when he mentions a mine and just, is that one of ours? Do we have a shale?
No. Mostly silver. The mountain ranges.
Yeah, I misspoke. It's not a mine as much as it is a quarry,
Okay.
like a stone quarry. But I created this belt that can help people out who maybe aren't as naturally endowed to lift heavy things, and it should give you strength that is equal to that of a frost giant or greater.
Oh, wow. How much is that?
This one is about 5k GP.
Do you have to be attuned to it, or do you just wear it?
It does require attunement, yeah. It's pretty complex. It alters your physicality, so you've really got to be in tune or it could fuck up your body systems.
I'm really glad an alum from such a college is doing so well. Like, I haven't seen many more, but I mean, you seem to be doing very well for yourself.
Yeah,
Very
it's been
knowledgeable.
great. Honestly, if I hadn't had that small investment from you guys when you purchased those rings I used for my final project, I wouldn't have been able to set out into the world and start my travels. And, I followed in the path of the footsteps of one of my heroes, the late and the great Amir Flasham, and checked out the ruins between Lugrieve and Kalima when I first set out. Found a lot of cool shit out there that hadn't been pilfered yet. Sold some of that, saved up even more.
Awesome.
Here I am.
How's the Mister been, if we can call it that?
Oh, it's great. It's the funnest way to take potions.
Right. Remember when
You
before
spray it
we were
right
the
in your mouth.
Mistwalkers, we had created a Mister? That's completely forgot. It works like a trigger, I imagine.
Yeah, revolutionary. I think they started actually mass producing them in Kalima, and they put a lot of prestidigitation chemicals inside. And they've kind of like distilled prestidigitation down into a liquid form so that you can just clean off surfaces with a spritz.
I hadn't even thought about it like that. I was just trying to kill a hag.
Rad.
I don't.
How did that go?
Based on the stories you
Different.
told, did you guys use them at all?
Do what?
Did you guys use them at all?
I think we had, right? It wasn't as effective as we had hoped.
That feels like so long.
It was
ago.
it was
I
ages
mean, I know
ago.
that it was really, but like not for us.
I think it was like a year ago.
Is there a way to
Well,
raise the number of items that you
Relatively.
can attune to at one time?
You can take classes in Artificer.
Oh,
I don't think there's a way to
I don't have that kind of time.
do so.
Another class.
Rules as written, at least. I do also have one more thing that you might find a little interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain's refreshing.
should we be quiet?
Is Welby? Does Welby? Is this Welby an automaton?
Make an insight check.
No! Fail, please. I don't want to know.
He's actually upstairs asleep.
20.
20? No, this is a dude.
Okay.
This is a Goliath man.
Oh, he's Goliath. Okay.
You'd be surprised how many magic items there are and how few of them are cool.
Yeah.
It's true.
I know. I can't remember. Oh, it was when we did our first game with you that didn't we just kind of like pick
Oh, yeah,
a couple of magic items to have because
Yeah.
we were doing like new characters at a high level? That was fun.
Yeah.
To get to
fun.
I
just,
think I
like,
picked one and immediately sold it.
Yeah.
Not even playing it. I was like, yeah, that sounds better. Let's do it.
So, I've got to say, up front, this is not something that I personally created, but something that I found in my travels and have just kind of held on to. But I've got these super rad little, super rare as far as I know. It's called a figurine of wondrous power. And I've got two. Specifically, the ones that I have is I have a silver raven, which is a little bit more common, but still uncommon. And it doesn't require attunement. You just give it a little squeeze, and it becomes an actual raven for up to 12 hours.
I want that.
Rad. Once you use it, you've got to wait like 2 days for it to recharge.
Okay.
But while it's in its raven form, you can actually get it to display your voice through itself. So if you needed to like pass a message to somebody, then you could do it through the raven.
I don't.
Do you want like
I
more
want
ways
somebody
to talk?
else to have
It allows
that.
you to castle. It allows you to cast the animal messenger spell on the raven.
You have two of those?
I want.
I've got one of these. The other figurine that I have is much more rare and super fucking rad, if I do say so myself. It's called the Obsidian Steed, and he's like setting these out on the table as he's discussing. Yeah,
He's
discussing them.
disgusting.
He sits down one, and it's like just a silver figurine of a raven, and they both look like they were kind of like shaped from like ingots. They have like this. You can see the rectangle that they were before they were carved, but they are very nicely carved. And the other one is carved of obsidian, wrought of obsidian, you could say, and is a horse that's kind of like rearing up. This bad boy is no regular horse. This thing, giving it a little squeeze, it'll turn into a nightmare for up to 24 hours, which, it can defend itself, and you could like...
It's a play on words.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a nightmare could mean a lot of things to a lot of people.
Like a bad dream?
I don't like
mean,
when people scrape their teeth on their fork. That's a nightmare.
That's why I do it every time we eat.
Yes.
I will say, this thing is a little dangerous because
Oh?
the nightmare itself is not inherently like a good, chill dude. So if you find yourself being a pretty cool, chill guy and you sit on it and it doesn't like that, there's a small chance that it might like teleport itself and you to the plane of Hades. But like that's pretty rare.
And this is like 5 gold,
What
right?
if you wanted to go to the plane of Hades?
Then that would be an excellent way to get there.
Okay.
It might like after you've used it once, you can't use it again until like 5 days because it takes a little bit more energy to recharge. But you know, like every 5 days, you could try again to go to that particular circle of hell.
So like, what does the Nightman do?
Well, it's like a big ass horse, like really big.
Oh, okay.
You can ride it. It's like a mount that you can mount, and
And sometimes it takes you to hell.
Sometimes it takes you to hell.
it does do that sometimes.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, you know, when you get on a horse and you're like, you better go the direction I want you to.
It can
Sometimes
also-
it can go to hell.
If it's listening to your instructions, though, it could like carry you into the ethereal plane briefly.
Can it bring you back from
Yeah.
the plane of Hades and stuff?
Oh, I don't know about that. I had to get back myself.
Is there a second horse that when I'm in Hades, it's like, you can go back home? There's a small
Like, you're not
chance of
supposed to
taking
be here.
I mean, maybe I didn't look around very
Daymare.
much.
a daymare.
I pretty much like figured out where I was, and then was like, oh, I gotta bounce right now.
God,
But yeah,
Oh.
be careful because its mane is like fire and shit. But other than that, you know, it's fast and it can fly.
Oh, cool.
Maybe start with that. I don't know.
It flies like really fast.
I think I'm good on bird and horse.
Yeah, that one's 1200 GP. The Silver Raven is just 1K.
I'm not convinced, and I've been thinking about this for a while. And I'm sorry if you're here, but maybe you can help me think of this. If I continue moving, I can run on water, something that isn't said often.
Right.
If it's raining hard enough, hear me out. Can I step on drops?
On what?
Drops of rain.
I don't know.
It's all about surface area.
Yeah, I was
right?
gonna
Like,
say like surface tension
Yeah.
is different
But
to
if
a
I'm
raindrop.
moving fast enough,
Right.
I'm just bouncing off of these things. I haven't tried it, and I don't plan on doing it in front of all of you.
I think maybe you could like kick a raindrop really far away from yourself.
Okay.
I don't know if it has really the mass to propel you upward.
What if it's raining like really, really hard?
I feel like you're thinking about this in the wrong way. You're like, I can run fast. I don't need this horse. Think the aesthetics, though.
Of me on a flaming horse that might take me to hell, it would kind of look like, ah! It wouldn't look really cool seeing a
could
panicked
look
old
cool.
man on a horse.
So it'll be 2,200 for both of them?
You want the hell horse?
26.
Why don't you get the
Right?
hell
Did I say
horse?
25K for the
You
for the
said
horse?
you said
12.
1,200,
12. Right.
and then you said 1K for the other, so it would be 22.
Oh, I meant to say 12K for the horse.
Oh.
Yeah, it's incredibly rare.
Okay.
And
We're gonna
8K
be
for the
so
other.
mad
I
though
feel
if
like-
we
And
found out
1K
that
for
we
the
need
Raven.
to get to Hades and we could have gotten this horse and we didn't.
The
Or what if we
The other
just
thing was
managed
8K,
to like make
right?
it
The
also
helm.
cool?
Yeah, that was the helmet.
Well, I do want the Raven.
Hell yeah, that'll be 1,000 GP.
Okay.
Can you make another one of these rings?
Yeah, I could make another one and chain it to them. I could probably, I know I'm a little more experienced now since I made those in college. I could probably expand your word bank a little bit too.
How long
are you-
would that take?
Maybe like a day.
Yeah,
I could put a rush on it and get it to you tonight.
Well, there's a bunch of different kinds of these guys.
I think we have.
Horses?
We have
Or
tonight.
ravens?
The figurines.
Yeah.
There's goats.
And
Yeah,
once-
he's only got the 2,
Once-
but
Yep,
there's a
Once
bunch.
ran a
deck
campaign
of
and gave
items.
everybody a little dog that couldn't die.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody got to pick their
We
dog.
had a lot of dogs. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the pelican.
Yeah. That was fun.
That wasn't me.
I kept wanting to like
That was you.
Yeah.
Those are yours.
use the dogs to go scout things out, and you were like, "Don't let that dog die."
I mean, but they could come back.
Yeah,
So
they
it
come
was
back.
really up to your morals and ethics as to whether or not.
You made me feel really bad about it.
So you purchased
up to
the
you.
Silver
Helm.
Raven?
And
Yes.
the raven.
And
You've
the
already
helm.
bought the helm, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, it was a pleasure to see you dudes. Did you want to get the rings upgraded and have another one added?
Can you imbue? How long would
Wait,
it
how
say?
long
How
is
long
it?
would it take you to imbue a weapon with something?
It depends on what you want to imbue it
If
with.
we're
What do you
already
need?
rushing the rings.
I'll just talk to Howie.
I mean,
about
I've
it.
got an assistant. If it's just a basic weapon enchantment, I could have somebody on that today. Depending on what you're after, it could be an hour, it could be a day or two.
I might need more information on potential enemies. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like my short sword is fine, but I'd like to pack a bit more of a punch. But I
Is
don't
it
know
just a short sword?
Is it
the
not
resistances.
magical? What?
It's magical, but it's a bit lacking in damage, as it's kind of a hack and slash and keep moving. I'd like for it to kind of pack a bit more of a punch. That's why I've been on the war pick lately.
Oh,
Are
and
you
then you can
looking-
dual wield the shadow blade, the mist blade, and that thing.
Right.
Are you looking to add like a type of elemental damage, or are you just wanting to really hone the blade's edge to a magical degree?
This might be a lot, and I'm speaking to. You're both looking at me very eagerly. I see now. Force. Ooh.
Force is hard.
I know.
That would be
yes.
more of a challenge,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
doable.
With
That one
force.
would probably take a couple of
Looking-
days.
I've got
You
a
want
bit
one
of.
you can like throw and it come back, or
I am a very good shot.
I think we have a couple days if we're gonna be able to
I think I
get
can
where
make
we
a
need to
shining
go
one.
instantaneously. The others are gonna be on
We
a boat
don't-
for 5.
We don't
got
have
one-
a couple of days if we're going to Vassacre.
Why?
Valdwin can get us to Foxburn, and then it's about 3 days to where we think we need to get.
How does teleportation work?
I can get to his circle.
And the circles in Foxburn.
That only circles?
Well, at least
Well, I
she's
don't-
unfamiliar with the continent, so
If you have an item that you procured from Vassacre in the last 6 months,
yeah.
I can get us there.
What
Otherwise,
about the past 25 years?
I think
if you have a really, really, really good description, we can try.
I think we get there still before the other two would make it to Fort Hornwood.
But we would have to search. They do have a
Yeah,
trail.
we don't know exactly where we're going. We just know it's approximately 3 days from Foxburn.
Yeah, if you guys are talking teleportation to an unfamiliar location, that shit's hella dangerous and could like hurt you pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then
Ruins your clothes too.
so we have to find the object or the tablets in Vassacre, and then I can get us back here to travel to Fort Hornwood, which is another several days. So we won't be able to head them off if we need to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Our best shot is probably going to be to try to leave by tonight as soon as the rings are done
Okay.
to Foxburn, find the tablets, and maybe Pete to help us.
Right. Yeah. I'll just bother Howie about my thing.
Nice.
It's either force
Well,
or that's actually a good idea of something that comes back if I throw it. So
you guys have already made
Or-
an excellent amount of purchases. We'll call it 50 gold for materials for the ring, and we'll be all set on that.
I can do that one.
Excellent.
Silas.
I will need
Alternately-
to borrow one of your current rings so that I can make the pair. Thank you. And expanding the word bank having access to one of them, should reach all of them.
Is it like an update or anything that has to happen?
Right, yeah, kind of. I've got to update the runes. Well,
Okay.
I'll get to work right away. Thank you guys so much for coming to Winter's Whimsy.
Yeah.
Thank-
We'll see you tonight, I guess, will we?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Congratulations again.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let Frost and Fire. Why is it escape me? There's so much
Fire-
alliteration.
Firefrost?
Firefrost. Let them know that we sent you, and we'll get you a drink if you
Oh,
like.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Genevieve's place. Nice.
We should get back.
Yes. Right. Still
Alright.
reaching out to Pete, right?
We will when we get there.
How busy is it outside of the shop? If I could play that.
And moderate. It's not like hard to push through the crowd, but there are people kind of like window shopping around.
Are there a lot of languages being spoken currently? Kind of like in the muffle.
I would say make a quick insight check.
Okay. I think it's 8, but I don't want to assume something cool. It's 9. That's right, it's 9 now.
Oh. 16.
16.
16. All right, give me just a second to look at this.
It's more or less what amount of languages are kind of being spoken around.
You have this weird moment, which I'm not sure if you've ever experienced this, but it's like when you realize that people are speaking other languages, but it takes you a second to realize inwardly that you understand what they are saying. You can hear like what is being communicated. You can even hear like inflections. And you read that like somebody's being sarcastic in Dwarvish as you're walking by, which you already knew Dwarvish, but you also hear somebody being sarcastic in probably Kori. This very like, it's very like front of the mouth clicky sort of language with a lot of like almost hiss-like sounds to it. And yeah, you're just kind of like picking up on all of this and having this realization.
Okay. Yeah, back to that. We were still planning on reaching out to Pete before.
I think we're gonna reach out to Pete when we get to Vassacre.
Oh, we're not reaching out now? Because he might not be anywhere near Foxburn.
We don't need him to be near Foxburn, though. Ideally, he would be somewhere near.
Gold Run. We were trying to give Alma a rest on having to.
I'll send this bill.
Oh,
Use
fine.
somebody's
Yeah, no,
spell.
No, it's
it was a question. It wasn't
Fine,
an
I'm already, my eyes are glowing.
It wasn't an order. It was a question.
Hey, Pete, it's Alma. We're gonna be in Foxburn. I'm just a sender.
We're gonna be in Foxburn.
Looking for prophecy tablets. Where, can somebody tell me where they are? I've been sending that it's about 3 days because that's where we were told by
Gold Run,
someone.
right?
Gold Run? Looking for prophecy tablets in Gold Run. Can you meet us?
There's a moment. Oh, hey! Fuck yeah!
Nice.
When?
Leaving tonight?
Sounds
From
good.
Foxburn.
I'm between the two right now.
Fantastic. Go to Gold Run.
Gold Run or Foxburn?
Meet in Foxburn.
Fuck yeah!
What did I just say?
Meet in Foxburn.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, bye! Do-do-da-ba-ba-dee-dee-doo, bow. Yeah!
Oh.
He uses up the rest of the words.
Scatting?
Yeah.
All right. Because I heard yeah. That's a word.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, he'll meet us in Foxburn.
Okay.
All right. As you all head back to, are you headed to Mistvale or Firefrost?
Miss Vale.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As you head
so
back-
to the pen.
Yeah. As you head back to the keep to prepare for the coming voyage, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
The line of monstrous bandits advance towards you. You hear creaking coming from the woods, when suddenly, belching out from the forest, the dire troll. You're up first.
I cast Fireball.
That's all of them. Roll damage.
All sixes.
Booyah!
All right, you're next.
I cast Cone of Cold. It says 88 right here. 64 points of damage.
I cast Lightning Bolt.
That's all right with me.
You just did that.
this like golden energy, and I cast shield.
He looks down in sorrow and then turns a fiery gaze to the rest of you. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
You mother.
I'm Cook.
Nice.
Cool.
Give him the official Herald salute, Arcana crew.
Was that gonna be the answer no matter what?
Yes.
Okay.
And very quickly, my head just turns. It's almost like someone called me, and I look back at you and I give you one last wave. And one little sad look before blowing you a kiss and waving goodbye.
She goes, hot damn, mama. And I'm gonna slap her on the ass, and then I'm gonna whip around behind.
We have an unboxing to do. This was sent to us by a wonderful viewer of the show who's been with us from the very beginning, I believe.
Yeah.
In this package, there are gifts for all of you, as well as candy to share.
I already prepped.
Okay.
Whoa!
Hooray.
The end of it now, you're coming to the other side. I need everybody to make one more constitution. And makes it over to this pillar.
Also, Cameron, this map looks amazing.
Right?
If I can throw that out.
Built it with my own two hands.
What about that other hand? What was it?
It watched. Stay safe out there, adventurers.
Listen, I can only catch the.
We return and continue. As the Mistwalkers approach Mistveil Keep, Cholula, you feel a vibration coming from your bag.
Ooh.
Weep, weep, weep.
Yeah, I set up my little shit.
Yeah. Setting it out, like stepping into the courtyard and setting it out on a nearby bench. The quill rises off and writes out, Valdwood here. Did you need something?
Yes, please. Could you draw us a...
We need the
we need-
teleportation circle for Foxburn.
Can you draw us your teleportation circle in Foxburn so Alma can get us there?
This is doable. Just as a quick... Just to calm my mind, I'll need something that only we would know. How did the hag die?
The tree monster sucked her in.
Night Watcher? What are they called?
Nightwalker.
Night Walker.
The tree monster sucked her in. Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Persuasion? 25.
25. The pen picks up.
We're outside.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my cloak kind of as a cover.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the pen kind of like hesitates for a moment and then begins drawing. And
Alma, get in here.
it takes like a good 10 minutes.
Can you just slip another piece of paper in there so you don't have to copy it?
Yeah,
You
I
just
would
kinda
like
take
to be
that one.
able to keep this for when we
Do
go.
you have a place where you've been putting these? Like you copied the other one?
I'll just like, I'm sure I have like a notebook of some kind. I'll just put it under the pen.
Does it still work on this paper?
I would say you'd be aware that it is very important that this setup be the same on both sides to function.
Okay.
Otherwise,
I thought it was the pen.
because if you were to put an entire, well, yeah, it is the pen that is enchanted, but making sure that you have the ink in the same place because it's going to move equidistantly
Right.
and paper. So if you were to put a book on top of that
Oh,
paper,
yeah.
he's going to get
okay.
resistance before he meets
Right.
his paper and won't be able to see what he's doing.
Can
I'll
you just do what he's doing as he's doing it?
I can just copy it from what you have. when
Yeah, I
we
was
get
going to say, you
inside.
guys will have a physical copy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't
You
know
could
if
just
it
tear this paper up.
disappears.
No. You have to, like, when the paper gets filled, you have to remove it and give him a fresh sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
So yeah, you guys have, it's just like straight up
Yeah.
ink on paper, regular.
It was explained one time.
Yeah.
We've
That's fair.
had a couple lore dumps. I get some lore toilet paper.
To do a lower wipe.
Yeah. A lore bidet.
After about 10 minutes, there's this very intricate drawing of a teleportation circle. It's concentric circles with circles within and runes that like encircle them and connect others. It's like a very complicated and complex piece of art that you now have.
At the very bottom, thanks so much. Hope you're doing well. XOXO.
Yeah, he draws a little heart.
Okay.
And that's all of your symbols.
So I'll take the pen down.
We should have asked how Isabel is. Thank you.
Oh.
I'm gonna tightly roll
Maybe
that
we
up.
can let him know when it works that it did, and
yeah.
then we can just check.
Yeah, you like fan the ink dry and roll it up.
And I'm gonna just tuck that into my bodice. Just, you know, this is safe.
Okay.
Absolutely. And you've arrived at Mistveil Keep.
Great.
You've got time for downtime activities again while you wait for the rings, if you would like.
Would you like to chat?
Yes.
I've had some time to think,
Okay.
and I'm sure you. Okay, you've already drawn some things. Yeah. So what do you got?
What? You
Pitch it to me. Come on. I like sit down in the conversation pit. Come on. What do you got?
You're already back in the conversation pit. The only room in this entire keep that anyone cares about.
returning.
I know we're
you
doing
throw
secret
it.
talks.
You throw it.
Right.
It's a little bit harder. Comes back.
Hits a bit harder and comes back. Do you have any other pitches? I'm gonna kind of rank them.
This is S tier, in my opinion.
Okay.
Which means super.
I got it.
Silas. Sorry, Silas here.
Silas tier. All right.
Super sex.
Right.
The super sex tier, okay.
Sex tier.
I also have one that's like can not as much your thing. Glows, sheds light, does like daylight bursts, blinds people. It's about as hard.
It could make shadows, which is helpful, but I'm not sure.
Or just one that, just hits hard.
I like the throwing one. I'm very good at throwing things.
Comes back.
Right. And I'm going to go into my Quiver of Elona that I got ages ago. And
You found it in
So
the
also, what are you
the
thinking?
ancient
It's got to
ruins.
be something fairly well balanced.
what do we have here? I'm like pulling out these like impossibly long weapons. What do we have? Where are my things? There they are. I love this application of this bag.
I can definitely do all my infusion stuff in the app.
I'll be sure to notate it on my end.
You can't.
Somehow. So I'll lay out a war pick, short sword, and a halberd.
I think I have a light hammer and a dagger.
It's got to be small.
No. Light.
Light. Halberd is out of the question. I'll put that back. War pick
They're not
definitely
necessary.
out of the question. Wait, no, war pick could work. From what I'm reading.
Yeah.
War pick or short sword, what do you think? Short sword is kind of my old standby, but the war pick is
Sounds cool.
it's pretty rad. Right. War pick. War pick it is. Nope,
Is
nope,
that,
if I sit and
does
think about it,
hit, like, you feel good with it? You can,
it's got a bit more weight than I like, but it's fine.
okay,
Right. War pick. How long do you think?
a night.
Shit. Should have met you earlier. Alright, fine. War pick. If I sit and think about it, I'll say short sword. And my dead daughter gave me this one, so I'm gonna...
I'm very much alive currently.
You were dead then, and I thought it was very sentimental.
It was.
I looked at the weight in
I gave you
D&D.
war pick.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Because you're like, it's a bit heavier than I'd like. According to this, a war pick weighs 2 pounds.
Well, a short sword is like a sword is a very like constant weight. A war pick has a weight
Right,
on
true.
its end.
But 2 pounds is nothing.
Yeah. With these-
Swords are usually like 50 pounds.
With these forearms,
True.
80 pounds is nothing.
right? With these glistening fish lifters.
Yeah, it does say too. Glyfters.
What
Why
does everybody
the war
else say?
pick use strength as a modifier instead of?
Yeah, that's
Because
what I'm
the
saying.
idea is that
Do
you've
you
got to
want-
like pierce
Are
the
you
armor.
cool with that?
It's less about like with a rapier.
Short sword is versatile, right?
It's a finesse. But I am a strong monk, so I like both my dex and strength are up, so it's fine. I don't know.
Whichever you want. War pick.
War pick, yes. The short sword, it's kind of, it was my first, it was my second. But some homeless man who swings it around everywhere has my first. But it was my second magical. I'd like to keep it vanilla, if you don't mind.
This isn't magical, right?
Everything I have is magical.
This is magical?
Yes. Is that an issue?
Yes.
Is it magical or is it just silvered?
Silvered? It's a plus. It's silvered.
Okay, I would say that would work in this
Okay,
scenario.
yeah. Cool.
It doesn't have an enchantment attached to it.
No,
It's just
yeah.
silver.
It was silvered because everything we were fighting was ridiculous.
Excellent. What are the rest of you up to?
I'm doing some body weight exercises while they're talking about this.
Hell
It's
yeah.
like, do you think maybe because we took our weapons with us that all of our weapons are weapons that are lost to time?
Yes.
Just doing like squats, like up little steps into the thing.
Yeah. Doing Grimdalian squats, one leg
Yeah.
up.
Those are the
I
worst.
found my hammer in Borka.
I mean,
It might be lost to
dead,
time.
we took
I
a
don't know.
dead body through time, so I imagine it is relative to those that are carrying it. Right?
But if we're lost to time, then all of our stuff is also lost to time.
Precisely.
I don't really have.
Unless we
Any
got nude in Borka, left everything there, and then got into the time portal and came back.
Keep stopping and talking, so I like don't get anywhere in
that's
this
fair.
one.
I love that. I was like, I don't really have any weapons as there's like this glistening like fragment of a god at your side.
Yeah, I'm not very good at you. I have a -1.
Wilford
It's a quarterstaff.
brambles are
Yeah.
weapons. You don't need special weapons. We are weapons.
I can make death come out of my hands.
Ba-boom! So can I.
Ta-da!
Um,
I actually think most of the finishers I've had have been without a weapon. Like, as far as like big bads have been punched. They have not been stabbed.
This is stomach blood.
I'm gonna copy over that teleportation circle.
Okay,
I
just
want
like
to make sure it
familiarizing
is
yourself.
perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. You go over some of the areas where like his quill was holding ink a little bit better than yours was, and connect the dots and make sure that everything is very crisp and clean. Go ahead and make. This will be a performance check.
Okay.
You just don't want to roll a 1.
Can I like? I was gonna try to do something where I like hold a light behind it, so that she can like trace.
I think she's adjusting the actual drawing itself at this point.
Okay.
It's like there were parts of it that are kind of like scratchy where your quill was running out of ink, but Valdwin's wasn't. So he like didn't know that he needed to re-ink it yet.
Okay.
Do you have a
This one doesn't feel good.
I can. Would I have to?
Okay.
Hey,
22.
22. Yeah, it is crisp and clean and perfect.
Okay.
And you didn't spill a drop of ink.
Yay!
Good, good. I think we're gonna make it there with all of our arms and fingers and feet.
That's great.
That evening, probably, Howie, you're probably working on Silas's war pick.
Yep.
Who goes to pick up the rings?
I can go.
Yeah, we'd probably go together.
All right, Alma and Cholula, you
Girls.
pop in.
We stop for drinks.
It's taking them a long time. It was 30 minutes down the road.
We're here. We got the shit.
We got
Let's teleport. Let's go.
we got married.
Welby pops
Cholula
out.
and Alma would.
Yeah.
Welby pops out with 2 rings in hand. I have them for you right.
We exchange them.
So I was able to expand things a little bit better than I thought. So I couldn't expand the range. It's still a 10-mile radius. Yeah.
That's great. We try not to be
pretty
that
good.
far.
Yeah, still a 10-mile radius. However, it is you basically you can talk as much as you want. Don't even have to worry about a word limit.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Thank you, Welby.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, great. We're off to some dangerous adventures. We'll see you later.
Excellent. Yeah, take care.
We go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you head back. Heading back, we'll say probably it took the better part of. You can do an infusion over a short rest, right, Howie?
I think it's in the morning or whatever. Like, I think,
Okay, it's like a long rest, basically. Okay. So, the question is, do you guys take another rest before you leave? Or do you wait for Howie to finish up with the war pick?
You should, right?
It's almost better for me if we go and
No.
camp there.
I can finish this tomorrow.
We could probably, I mean, Foxburn, I think, is a small town, but they probably still have an inn.
Pete has his house on his back.
I don't know if Pete's gonna make it. If he's between the two and it's 3 or 4 days, I don't think we're gonna see him.
You
On
could
his
have
way
a
to
potion that makes him
Foxburn.
run
We also
so
we also
fast.
have camping equipment. Well, even if we just stay near Foxburn. I don't know where this circle is.
I've never been to Vasco. I don't know what the wilds are like there. I don't know what the people are like there, but we'll sleep somewhere.
Yeah.
Sure, it'll be fine.
If I haven't, I don't think I've been. Nope, I don't think I've been. If I have, I don't remember. Being
What?
Okay.
Gold Run? Are we going to Gold Run?
just
We're
Vasco
going
in
to
general.
Foxburn.
Foxburn.
And then to Goldburn from there.
Okay.
So y'all want to go now, and then you can work on the war pick there
Yeah.
when we get all set up somewhere.
That'd be better. That way, when we are traveling, I have everything at my disposal.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see you, Pippin. I don't know if he's still like hanging
am I
out here.
staying here?
Do you want to?
Oh, do you want to come with
You want
us?
to join?
I've never been to Vasicus before.
Sure.
Well, yeah, come on.
Yeah. Get in here.
Get in there.
All right.
That was me, Moma.
She's good. Her and Katya settling in nicely. They've got a small cottage that's just down the way, maybe 30 minutes down the road. I think Katya's been looking at getting some work in a slate quarry and getting into the pottery business, perhaps.
That's good.
Oh, we should probably hug everybody, shouldn't we?
We should check in on
We'll be back.
Christina Delisnia at some point.
Oh, she's in Mistinor.
No, I know.
Maybe when we check up with Feldwin, we can see how that is. I don't know how to quickly check on
No, that's fine.
Little Delisnia. That's hard to say. Little Delisnia. Little Delisnia.
It's a little in the
Little baby. Let's go.
All right. I'm gonna say it
Delisnia.
just in case, but I don't want to. If this is a false destination, then it's either going to be a mishap or a similar area. So, just putting.
Prepare thyself.
So I am going to roll.
Okay.
If it's if the permanent circle is still there, it's called a permanent circle, but things can happen.
Yeah.
Then it's a 0 to 100 success. That is a 15.
You all once again feel yourselves enveloped into that sort of flickering between spaces as not only the sound, but the lighting, the heat of the air, everything shifts in an instant, and you are in a different place. It's dark, but I don't think that really is a problem for any of you. You find yourselves standing within a very well-decorated chamber. All of the curtains are drawn, these like really thick, heavy cloth curtains, and there's an owlbear skin rug on the floor that you're actually standing atop, and you can see the edges of the teleportation circle around you, not dimming like they usually are. You get the sense that by the way that Alma's teleportation works, it didn't use the circle itself as part of the spell. It was just a location, like a target. And as such, didn't like light up like it does when Valdwin sends you through them. However, you do find yourselves within a residence of some sort. It looks very similar to Valdwin's office in Wiltbloom, but clearly has some notable differences, one being that it is stone walls, whereas his is mostly dark wood.
Is there the room that we're in? Is it a bedroom?
You don't see a bed. There's a desk, and up against, leaning against the wall, is a large coffin. So potentially.
Okay.
I'm gonna like
And the
mist hand open up one of the curtains.
Yeah.
To let light in.
You do so, pulling the curtain back. You look out on a very quaint little town. There are stone buildings in rows that have cobbled streets between them. There are a few people out and about, but it is currently like. Well, no, let's see, because it was evening, basically, by the time you guys had run your errands and done your stuff. So it would be
Morning?
like midday, because you're almost on the opposite side of Kavorah.
So there's sunlight?
There is sunlight, yes.
You were
Okay.
saying?
I'm going to close the curtain,
Oh.
Okay.
and then I'm going to use the rings and say, we don't know who lives here. We should get out of this house.
Is there a?
Make-
Are there any identifying?
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
It's a coffin.
11.
11.
It's a nat 1.
Oh, do you have a thing?
I don't know if I do anymore, do I?
I mean, you have a thing. I don't know if there's a nat 1 table, though. Let's find out.
I have only very few images.
It would be very funny if that side of the table
No.
didn't have rollies, but this side of the table has rollies.
I have like the Mist Traveler, Misty Step, Poison Roots thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think I did, but I got
It
rid
was
of
for
my friend.
memories.
It changed, yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent. So that was an 11, nat 1.
What are we rolling for?
Investigation.
Okay.
I was just excited to use
Yeah.
my mage hand, and then she closed the curtain like,
5.
Nat 20.
Ooh, baby.
Yo.
So
No,
that
really.
makes it
Hometown
high,
kid.
very high. Oh no, yeah, 25.
Nice.
Dang.
Yeah, Cholula says this, and the three of you are all like, oh shit, yeah. How you're looking around, you see a coffin leaning up against the wall. That leans itself to vampire. You see a big painting on the wall also of Valdwin. Just like a big oil painting.
Could just be a big fan.
You're like, pretty sure this is at least an office of his.
Or one of his lovers.
Oh, Isagil's old place.
Could go either way.
I can't imagine anyone who keeps up with this place knows that we're going to be here. That might still be terrifying.
Is it dusty?
Do they have blankets on the furniture?
It's well kept. And no, there's no blankets over the furniture.
Okay.
I'm going to
somebody-
quietly...
Can I close the curtain?
closed
Cholula
it
did.
already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Is there like
I
a
was
door
definitely paying
out to a
attention.
hallway or anything like that?
Yeah, there's a door nearby.
Okay, I'm going to start sneaking around and check out the place.
That would be so lame if Valdwin used it and we left the window open. Like, oh, God, as soon as he comes through.
Opening the door, you find yourself looking out at a hallway. There are two more doors, one on the left and one on the right of this little narrow passage that leads to stairs that go downward.
Okay. Which
And
way are the stairs?
I would also say they're straight ahead. I would also say looking out of that window, you would have gathered that you're kind of like up on a second or third level.
Okay. I'm gonna look at everyone, and I'm gonna check the one on the right. If trying to someone check the left one.
I'll check the left.
What's in this room?
Okay, yeah. You grab the handle and the door's locked.
Left.
Also locked.
I could break it open if we were.
Can I knock on the coffin?
Yeah, you knock. There's no response.
Can I look in the coffin?
Yeah, you like creak it open, and peering inside, you see lovely, lush purple velvet lining and cushions, but it's currently empty.
Little buttons.
Yeah. It's pleated, is that what it's called?
These are both locked. Shrug. Start heading downstairs.
Yeah. You head down one flight,
Do you want me
and
to? No, it's rude.
it leads to another door at the end that is also locked, but you can see that there's like a deadbolt on this side that's turned.
Okay. I'm gonna quietly unlock it and peek out.
You do so. Peeking out, you find yourself looking into a small, like, foyer. There are a number of, like, small iron doors, like little mail slots, basically. And you get the sense that this is some sort of, like, not residence necessarily, but like a collection of different businesses, maybe.
Could I mist hand to lock that back? Like,
Yeah,
after we close
absolutely.
it, it's like,
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, you do so, and then the mist trails under the door and coalesces back towards you.
okay, I think we're good, right?
Right?
Yeah.
We probably should stay here, though?
No.
Okay. So we'll leave out the front.
Excellent.
Is the front door also locked?
No, the front door is open.
Okay, cool. Just very casually exit the building.
Yeah.
It's not like a doorman or anything. It's like, oh, Mr. Valdon.
No, there's nobody here currently at this moment.
So he's going to teleport us into a room full of vampires that don't know who we are. We swear he sent us.
Hello.
No, stepping out into the streets of Foxburn, you find yourselves looking back at what is clearly like an office rental space. He's just like, he's got a place here where he does work sometimes, and
Okay.
he rents it from
What's
somebody.
what's on the tag? What's on the?
Ooh.
What's on it? What's his like profession listed on
I like
the
that
tag?
this is in the notes, like, of course.
It is Professor.
Oh, okay. So he
Professor
just has like
Valdon.
an extension of his office out here. I don't know if he, like, this is where he does his necromancy. Then he goes back and he's a teacher.
It says necromancer. Under the tag for professor, there's like a.
I buzz it and run away. Bzz, bzz.
I'd say that you would probably assume that like he had some college business here at some point or another, or has colleagues in the area that he consistently meets with.
I like the idea of multiple wizard towers in one building, and they have like a little lobby.
Like separate actual towers here.
Okay, so what's the town like?
We're like,
So, stepping out into the streets,
Lunch. I'm gonna write a whole campaign around an office building of wizard towers.
there are the streets are cobbled, so it's like this sort of cement mixture with smooth stones set into it. Carts and carriages drive by, nothing on the level of Waterdeep, with their like crazy big mega carts.
Yeah.
Or anything of that nature. There's actually a name for those, I just can't remember what it is.
No monster carts.
But yeah, the people, it's a mix of people, mostly human, but you do see some various like tieflings and halflings mixed in as well. And the dress is a little bit different here. Just like the current styles are slightly askew in this area. You can see these like large trees in the distance past the buildings, and where you may have been expecting, well, actually, I'm curious, what would your characters be expecting of Vassacre when you arrive? Like, what do you expect the region to look like? Howie, obviously, you would know.
Probably just like the same as Winfell.
Yeah.
Texas Panhandle Plains.
Okay.
I don't know why.
So yeah, stepping out, expecting to maybe see like some greenery around. You see these tall trees that the trunks sort of twist a little bit, and the foliage of them is actually kind of like widespread and flat. I can't remember the name of them, but they're like Lion King trees, basically.
Oh, Akasha's.
Yeah. Yeah, you see these large acacia trees. There are these, walking past various storefronts, you see these massive aloe vera plants that just like almost grow at the same size as some of the buildings. Just like these massive, thick stemmed, are those technically considered little bubble guys?
Succulents?
Succulents? Or is aloe vera a succulent? Interesting. These thick, succulent vines.
Succulent.
Suck. Chalk drink.
Yeah, and you see a number of businesses. The buildings here, again, are made of this sort of like red and white stone that typically each building sticks to one, but there are some buildings that have like a red stone base, and then the pillars or supports are this white stone structure. And it feels much more, I want to say colonial, than Windfell, where Windfell has a lot of that very typical like timber frame, like exposed timber frames with plaster. This feels a lot more brick and stone-based building.
Okay.
Looking towards kind of the center of town, there's a very tall structure. This it kind of gives off like courthouse vibes, the way that it's built, like a small castle almost. And there's a large clock face in the center, which is interesting for the time, as there's all different kinds of timepieces, but this one seems unfamiliar. The rain has begun.
It's very loud.
But yeah, people are going around. You do see a couple of strange things that stand out.
Okay. How strange.
There's a human man who has an animal kind of like tethered to a leash that he's walking that appears to be a hyena, which feels strange.
Neat.
And he's like walking it like you would walk a dog, as it's making these like weird little whining, whimpery sounds. Very big. Hyenas are surprisingly. Am I getting that right? Hyenas are like surprisingly large when you think about it.
They're like tall boys.
You see a couple of maned wolves eating out
That's pretty big.
right? You see a couple of maned wolves that are eating out of the garbage in an alleyway. These like very elongated legs of these almost like fox-like creatures. That,
Okay, now that's an animal that is shockingly big.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Very, because like you see it in the distance, and you're like, oh, foxes. I guess that's where the name. Oh, those aren't foxes. They have like unusually long legs that kind of bleed from red to black fur along the legs, and almost these tufts of fur along their backs that are hunched a little bit as they're just like picking through the garbage. These huge maned wolves. So yeah, this place definitely feels different. You can't really see a whole lot of the landscape outside of the trees that are peering over, because you come to notice that there is a stone wall built around this settlement. So you can't really like look over. It's about maybe like 50 feet high.
Do we see in this area of businesses, is this more like business district kind of looking place? Are there like inns, restaurants, or is it just kind of like offices kind of?
No, it's a mix. There's like on a couple of corners there are some restaurants and taverns. There are like jewelry shops and my mind went fully blank. There are jewelry shops and other various businesses, kind of
Okay.
like sprinkled in among these unnamed buildings.
Okay.
It looks very much like there's probably like the way that a lot of the businesses are built. There's like the business on the first floor, and then probably apartment living above.
Yeah.
Business on the bottom,
Yeah.
party on the top.
Yeah.
If we can find a tavern or an inn that may have rooms available is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Roll a d20.
Great roll.
Nat 20, baby!
Nat 20.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
It's
dude.
across the street.
Yeah.
You're in it. You're in it, baby. You just step in it. What is that? That's where we're staying tonight.
Yeah,
We get sucked into a puddle.
Whoa.
your attention is caught by the sound of music that is different than what you're used to. There's a lot of like lutes and rather in Windfell there's a lot of like lutes and very like traditional tavern music, but you hear these strange sounds of like bowed instruments and very like rhythm-based percussions. Normally there'll be like one bard with a drum accompanying a group. This seems to be a group that they have like 3 or 4 different types of drums and this strange sort of like stringed instrument that you hear just dancing on top of it, accompanying a like a tin whistle sound. And as you're drawn towards it, you find yourself standing outside of the Tipsy Pixie,
Ooh.
which is a lovely little tavern on the first floor of one of these taller buildings. And it's kind of like open on the sides, and there's a smattering of people sitting at tables, kind of set across from you, from like standing at the corner, is where the stage is set up and these bards are playing. You see one of them has this strange instrument that's like a little box that seems like it has snake skin stretched over it, and there's this stick that comes out from the top and curves, and it seems to have 2 strings that the bow is actually kind of like, the hairs of the bow are stuck between the 2 strings as they play along, and as they're kind of like glissandoing their fingers from note to note, there's not like a fretboard. They're just, their finger touches the string and moves, and it gives it this like flowing sound. And then you see the 4 drummers with drums of varying sizes being played with different implements. That's just kind of like filling the space. And some people are listening and like dancing up near the stage. Others are just kind of chatting at their tables. And along the right side of the wall, inside, you can see that there's a little bar set up.
Oh, nice. Let's go in here. What's it called?
The Tipsy Pixie.
Tipsy Pixie.
Tipsy.
Oh, sorry.
Pixie.
Fucking idiot.
Alright, so it could be a day or 2, hopefully less, before we hear from Pete.
Right.
I mean, if we can just rest here for today, we can head towards Gold Run and hopefully run into Pete.
Right, we should probably find out. Do you know from Foxburn to Gold Run? Generally. at
Generally,
least.
it would be.
From Foxburn to Gold Run on foot is about 3 days.
But what direction?
What about on a giant nightmare?
Oh, it is. Gold Run is
that.
northeast.
Oh, you didn't get. Oh, okay. I thought you
Wow.
I got the
prison.
Raven.
Oh, okay.
It's like 12,000.
Expensive, yeah.
Nobody wanted to go
Ah.
to hell.
The word that I forgot that skipped my mind when I was thinking about jewelry shops. You also pass a number of cartographers as well. There's different like
good.
map shops and stuff
Oh,
if you
nice.
wanted to procure a map of the land.
Alright, so maybe let's do dinner and.
Get a room. Go grab a map.
Yeah, I'd also like to see maybe one of these jewelers can just sell me a couple of diamonds real fast. Just a couple.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
Yeah, that could work.
Excellent.
So yeah, we'll get dinner if you wouldn't. What's on the menu?
That's a great question.
Beats.
But I think that was me.
Yeah, that's on your team.
It's all beats.
It's all meat. We want one of every meat.
There is what's called the Ranger's Bounty, which is a plate of grilled game meats, seasoned sausages, and foraged wild mushrooms that are kind of like paired with each of the meats. That's one of their larger plates and their main courses. They've also got a couple of starters. They've got dragon wings, which are spicy chicken wings served in a fiery dragon sauce, as well as an elven salad, which is just mixed greens with a tangy elven vinaigrette. For dessert, they've got a Dwarven chocolate stout cake, as well as a Dwarven stout to match on tap, and Elven Delight, which, like getting closer and looking at the ingredients, or looking at like the description under the name, is a light and fluffy honey-infused cake with a lavender glaze.
One of everything like usual?
Yeah.
Dragon wings sound.
Excellent. Yeah, stepping up, you order from a bartender who is a canid, which feels odd with the kind of like rest of the people that you've seen around town. Very like big, broad-shouldered, and incredibly like furried. This like Burmese mountain dog canid, who's a good like rivals the height of Roscoe Sampson, a good like 7 feet tall, standing behind the bar and pouring drinks, serves you guys, and gives you a little number on a piece of like parchment that you set into a stand at your table, and the server will bring your food to you.
Can I get us to a room as well?
Yeah, they do offer rooms here. You can go ahead and mark off like 5 gold pieces.
I got
Okay.
it. I'll put down 10.
Nice.
Thanks, Seth. Okay.
Silas, I would say with your passive perception, something that catches your eye immediately is there's a group seated along the edge of the bar who are conversing with one another. Incredibly well muscled, especially like in the shoulders, and you can see like muscles through the backs of shirts, like through the shirts, I should say. Thick beards that are kind of like come down and are forked at the tips, and long pointed elven ears. It feels very strange. You've never seen an elf with a beard, and you've never seen an elf that was that jacked.
I don't know why that was important to me, but I just found. Sure. Okay.
You want to get a table close to him?
No.
Okay.
So. What do we do if we can't find the tablets?
Maybe we just stay here, set up.
We just
new
give
life.
up on all of that?
Yeah.
We could. Genevieve could be here in a couple of days. We can just give up on. We start our lives
She's
anew.
got the skyship situation all figured out.
She can bring grandmama and Katya, and we try again.
Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a clash of nations happening here. I don't know.
We can only prevent so much.
Could find maybe the. I'm not sure on Winfell, but we could find maybe an older library, something that has been of antiquity.
That's true. If these things came from here, somebody might have already studied them.
Yeah, Winfell's harder pressed to find something that's on Vasica, but Vasica should have some kind of a library that we could go through.
Sure.
This is all Vasker. Right? That's the continent, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Gold Run, though.
Gold. From what I've heard, it's a very bustling, large city. I imagine someone is an authority on ancient artifacts, at least. Someone has to know something about the pre-severance,
Right.
or at least think that they do.
Order ready, order ready. Approaching your table is a server who's got one arm carrying like a large tray that's got one of each, one of each of everything on the menu, and as well as a couple of drinks. Brings that over and starts setting it down on your table. You see they're wearing this sort of loose, jerkin isn't the right term, but their shirt seems to be like a loose buttonless vest that would be open in the front, but they've kind of like pulled it across and it's tied with a yellow sash. It's kind of like bluish with white filigree around the mantle. And they've got a yellow sash pulled with a part that kind of like tucks under and dangles down and kind of like flows around the legs, where they've got these fluffy blue pants that, yellow pants. Words.
Yellow pants.
I'm seeing it in my brain.
Mantle.
Yeah, I'm seeing it in my brain and saying it with words.
Crazy.
The pants are fluffy and go down to about the knee before they're wrapped around the calf and kind of like tied
When you
with
say
boots over them.
Fluffy. Like furry?
No.
Jasmine
poofy.
pants.
Poof.
Yeah, Jasmine's
Jasmine's
pants, for sure.
Okay.
And yeah, you kind of like get the vibe. This doesn't look like a uniform for the restaurant, but like looking
That's
around.
just this guy's vibe.
Yeah, looking around and kind of like getting a good read on the crowd now that you've kind of settled and haven't taken a seat. There's an odd mixture of clothing. A lot of the people that you saw on the street were wearing like suits almost. A lot of silks. But most people here seem to be wearing very like loose-fitting clothing that's very like baggy and seems like it would be hot to wear in this, because it's warm here.
Yeah.
It seems like it would be hot in this particular climate, but it's they all seem very comfortable. None of them are like sweating or anything. You're not sure if they've just acclimated to the climate or what. But you see he's also got a wrap around his left arm that's almost like almost like a bandage, but it looks like a nicer material that fully encases like the hand up to about mid-bicep. It kind of like passes everything out.
Do you need the number back?
Yes, please. Thank you. Enjoy your food. Let us know if there's anything else that we can get for you.
Okay.
Thanks.
He goes back to his duties.
This isn't one of those places I have to go get the silverware, is it?
No, it came wrapped.
Okay, nice. There it is. I always get settled and then, yeah.
So, like, how big is this? Like, is it town? Is it city? Is it...
Foxburn is a small... It's a large town.
Okay.
Small city. It's very industrial, but it's nowhere near the size of, like, Waterdeep. It's more akin to pre-liberation Chill Run in size.
Okay.
Okay. If we don't find anything, then I guess we just go back to Chill Run and then head down to whatever the weird name of that place was.
With the weapons of time.
Verescent Moorlands, and go back to the original plan, meet with Horace and Kendry, and we can either try to continue a ruse of sorts, or we can stop and say, hey, we know that you lied about this and this, what do you really want?
Yeah. So dinner, diamonds, there was something else we were, maps.
Map.
And then
Nap.
eat.
Sure.
Sounds good. This looks pretty good, honestly.
Yeah,
Do
the
I
food is
remember-
amazing.
I'm gonna tuck into the ranger thing first.
There
Just
are-
grab a couple of those.
There are seasonings used here that some of you have like never tasted before, and everything is incredibly spiced. Not like heat-wise, but just like think if you're used to eating like good seafood all the time, and then you ate Indian food for the first time.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the vibes of this place.
Okay.
It's very warming. I know, right? We're so hungry.
You moved from barbecue to Indian food, I think.
As you guys begin
Barbecue does.
tucking in, as you guys begin tucking into your meals and preparing to go about town and kind of explore and check out some shops and gather some things and supplies before you meet up with Pete, we're going to go ahead and end the session there tonight.
Oh shit! By
Yeah.
popular demand.
We promise not to make you guys. We promise not to make you guys sit through our shopping. We're probably gonna go ahead and work out gold and stuff.
Maybe we'll meet the people of Massacre.
We just made the people sit through a shopping episode.
A shopping episode. This wasn't really a shopping episode.
We went shopping for one.
It was a planning episode.
I like the shopping episodes where like I come out of the back and I'm wearing like a boa with big sunglasses and everyone's like, no. And then I go back in there and I come back out.
Like, don't think about black.
What about this? And they're like,
Yeah, we can
what color? You green and stuff, right?
yeah, I'm agreeing.
we can condense
He's
for
green.
sure, but like don't think of it as a shopping episode so much as world building in this new place we haven't experienced yet. We've got to get a feel for the people. What are the shop owners like here? Why
They're
did
in the
Pete choose
same-
this place of all places to come
That's
and
true, but
hang out?
I'm just saying we keep promising them kind of like wild shit is happening in the
I'll kill-
background and
I'll-
we keep shopping.
I'll fucking kill a guy. All right? If we walk into the diamond shop, like, how can I help you? Dead. You like that?
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
Is that what you want?
Don't you want to be?
Don't worry, there will be a return soon to the
Yeah,
action.
if we get into some shit and we're like, man, we really should have
Oh, man.
gone shopping and prepared for this. We'll be, just like whenever we find out that we need to go to Hades for some reason,
I
and we
s-
can't because
Also-
we left the horse with Welby.
I've still taken a
$12,000
feat
hell horse.
a long time ago that I never have used once, and I'm looking forward to using it.
Nice.
We gotta sign off. We have a chaos.
Yeah. Thank you guys so
What do you
much for
call
tuning
them?
in.
A feet.
Sorry.
Feet.
Up where they walk, up where they run.
Yeah.
Up where they deflect missiles and left hand.
Stay safe out there, adventurers.
God damn it.
Oh, we have patrons,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're wonderful.
It's like we'll have to do it for real.
and I love them. Shout out to our lovely patrons, our supporters on Patreon. Definitely not Sam, Scott Shear, Nita Yilva, Robin Stone, Al, Freya Odensdottir, and Tina Holt. Thank you guys so much for supporting us, and hopefully that list continues to grow as we have double episodes coming out
Again?
of Guardians of the Phoenix and all of that biz. We'll catch you next week, but until then, stay safe out there, adventurers.